Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Hey Jay apparently went out of his way and made me a sound clip, the one that I was asking for.
Sent the
He did.
the snake in the ass cheeks.
Yeah, apparently he had to go through several different YouTube clippings or something and put it all together. But yeah, he made it with a little with like little cartoon of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
Dude.
So
AJ's the man.
He has done so much work for my channel. Like I feel like I should like subscribe to his channel to pay for it, which I do obviously. But like I don't know, I feel like I owe him so much money just because he's done so much for my channel. He's done so many like sound alerts and little things like that. My intro music, my outro, everything like that. He's done all that for me. Yeah.
That's all him. Wow.
Oh yeah. As well as like probably a third of my sound alerts. Yeah, he's done a lot of work for my channel. I owe him a lot. So
Word. Good. Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, man, I really want to hear that that sentence said by David Hayter. So
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool that he did that. Let's see. What are we doing here, guys? Who are we and what are we doing?
It's an excellent question.
We are
So this is
enfants terribles.
Les enfants terribles. I missed that that version of Liquid. I was thinking about it. Whose stream was I in? Oh, I think I was in our friend Spy's stream, and he was playing MGS1. Apparently, he quit.
Yeah,
he did not. He did not finish the game. I don't know if he's going to go back to it, but he was just like, "I'm not having fun anymore." And I'm like, "I get it. Not everyone has the stubbornness that Chris has to just keep going." Right? Chris did 3 streams on just Metal Gear Rex alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said I miss this version of Liquid, like this villainous version of Liquid, because he's
very almost cartoony, but it's good.
Well, he's such a Bond villain, Like let me
100%.
Yeah, let me monologue and I'm gonna take over the world, and you don't see that again. Not that it's a bad thing, but you don't see that again in the rest of the series up to this point. Like
because it's not Liquid.
Yes, that's what's weird. That's what we're gonna discuss today. But yeah, like MGS3, the villain wasn't Volgan wasn't as much as he kind of was a Bond villain, because he's got like a facial disfigurement. And he's got this crazy plan to do whatever in his own agenda and whatnot. He still just wasn't as like, I don't know. I needed him to be just a little bit over the top to hit that level of Liquid villainy.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. It's hard to pinpoint what word to use exactly, but like I said, not without being offending necessarily. Liquid was, like I said, like cartoony in a good way, like a. Like Cobra Commander or something, there's that villain that you're like, yeah, he's the one, like, no, I do like Liquid a lot, actually.
Yeah. Well, this is not a normal episode of Codec Calls. This is one of our summary episodes. So I'm just going to go around the table and introduce everybody. I'm Red Noise, and I have just above me on the Discord is... Sorry, nope, I don't introduce him first. Just below me on the Discord is I was about to say Chronicle Riser, but it's Chrono Riser. And then above me, that is him. And then above me, I have Blue Rhino Boss.
Hello.
And then below Riser, I have the Unexplained Bacon.
Yeah, what's going on?
So yes, we have our returning guest, so we can come discuss MGS4, and so that he can berate me about my bullshit and the bad words that I've said about this game.
And my bullshit is your bullshit.
My bullshit is your bullshit. But yeah, guys, I guess we should just dive right into it, because there's a lot to talk about.
Boy, is there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of have to explain what happened to Chris, because I do kind of remember from his point of view, first time player going like, what the hell just happened? A lot of it makes sense, but a lot of it doesn't, a lot of it just doesn't stick. So the things that made sense, cool, they made sense, but other things are like, I don't even remember him saying that. So does anyone want to take point on this one?
So that's one thing for sure. For sure, that it's taken several playthroughs and other videos to fully understand and grasp everything that happens in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there is so much, because it's trying to tie up so many different loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
Even going all the way back to like OG Metal Gear, which I learned about those just from listening to the pod here.
Mm-hmm.
And what it all kind of to me boils down to is just a differing of opinions on what the boss's will was, and that's what the whole struggle of the whole kind of series kind of boiled down to.
Right.
Was Zero versus Big Boss's interpretations of her will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all that. Plus, like you said, tying up all the loose ends, because like Kojima had for reals intended this to be the last one. Because he didn't even intend to make this one. He believed the story of Solid Snake was tied up nicely in 2, which of course a lot of us were like, what? No. Because I guess we didn't understand at the time that that's why at the end of 2, when we did it in Codec Calls, I was like, I believe this is all a simulation, and the Solid Snake stuff kind of didn't really happen, because that's how we intended it. But then 4 threw all of that out the window and was like, okay, you guys want answers? I'm just going to make up some answers. Here they go. I hope you like them. And, and so that became the new canon. Yeah, just tying up all those loose ends made things a little more complicated for especially newcomers to the series. Like if that was their first game, I kind of feel bad for them. But if they enjoyed it, cool. Just cool if they did enjoy it, because it's just so much info for a new player that has no knowledge of Metal Gear.
Yeah,
if I have all that info thrown
so
on
much
them.
referencing, so much referencing. And,
yeah, you're like, what does this mean? What does that mean?
Yeah. If this was your first playthrough or first game ever, 100%, it's a feel sorry for you in the sense of like the confusion you're probably experiencing, because it'd be like walking into one of the newer Star Wars movie without ever knowing what anything about Star Wars is, and then being referenced to Luke or all kinds of shit, the Jedi, the Republic, and what the fuck's going on? Like what are all these people doing?
Yeah.
just a lot, Tatooine this and Jar Jar being staying. Like, what the fuck? Characters that are long gone still being referenced.
But it's funny that you bring up Star Wars. That's actually how the whole thing started, was references to an Anakin Skywalker and the Clone Wars. Like the first movies that ever released started in the middle of the saga, which is weird.
Yeah.
And we just kind of just took it at face value, like, oh, okay, this is just part of the lore. And I wonder if maybe new players took this game the same way. Like, oh, there must be, obviously this says a number 4 on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they just kind of like just accepted it and maybe started reading up on it or started watching YouTube videos. Like, what were the sources back then to understand all that lore? Because I think most of us, Bacon, which one did you start on? 2?
No, 1.
Oh, okay. So then
I have fond memories of my mom not letting me play it, but I still played it.
That's
in my
right.
brother's room.
That's right. I remember you saying that. Okay, so then all of us, sons, Chris over here, experienced it with Metal Gear Solid and had to read about the previous things that happened, because we obviously didn't have access to the MSX versions yet. So in the manual, we had to read about the Outer Heaven and the Zanzibar Land incidents. Mm-hmm. And that was our way our introductions to, Gray Fox and Big Boss. Like, we never got to interact with Big Boss at all.
No.
Until Metal Gear Solid 3.
Well, you're right, because like you literally hit the nail on the head with the statement of, if you started with 4, you have no idea what's going on, to an extent, because we started with Solid, and they were referencing Big Boss and Frank Yeager and Zanzibar Land, and we're like, what the fuck are you? What are you talking about? Like, they were mentioned pretty deep, and you just had to go like, okay, I guess it's shit that happened in the past, like not knowing there's a full fucking games that came out before it,
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a Metal Gear Solid, no numbers attached to it, and we assumed it's the first game in the series, and then nope, there's shit before it that we had no idea about,
Yeah, and they're huge parts of the lore, and we had to read about it until we started this podcast, kind of, because I know German and I don't know if Bacon also at some point at least made attempts at the MSX versions because of substance.
Subsistence.
So yeah, that's probably the most we had gone through before the podcast.
What is so funny? I'm so happy with this podcast because, like I said, I played the Nintendo version, which sucks. We agreed on that. I played the MSX version.
Well, it did have it had some quality of life improvements, but yes, it did suck.
yeah. Well, yeah, but the MSX version, I did beat it on an emulator once, using cheat codes. But for some reason, Solid Snake, I just never really. I actually never made it past like the first like 2-3 screens. Don't know why. I just was like, I don't know if I want to play this. And then this forced me to play through it. And I was like, dude, this game was awesome. I should go back and replay it too. It was good.
Yeah, I think it's because it looks so different.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't have any of the music that we're used to.
Yes.
Because Metal Gear 1 does. It has the theme of da-da, right? We know that from the VR missions and whatever other reference. I mean, it's referenced in this game. You get the fucking song. So, yeah, I think it was just like, this doesn't feel like Metal Gear. But then once we finally played through it, we're like, this is the most Metal Gear game I've ever played. Mm-hmm. And it was in 2D and old as fuck. But yeah, okay. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, this one, I guess, just has way more references. And I think that's kind of what would throw me off as a new player. But hopefully it didn't throw off a lot of players and they were just like, oh, well, maybe it invited them in to explore the other ones, which I hope it did. Okay, so what the hell happened in this game?
Oh, man.
A lot.
So much.
Should we start with questions from Chris, or do you want to take the lead here, German or
no, I think we can do questions from Chris and or Bacon as well.
Oh my God, I don't understand. I just realized we should have had a segment that's just like questions from Chris.
Yeah.
I want to mention, Chris, are you gonna go back and play as Raiden or not?
That's a good question. I'd like to say yes, but we know I don't have a great
drive or
track record with that, I guess. Okay. So
going back? Okay.
Yeah. Right. I probably will at some point. Like I said, this is definitely in my top 5 games of the series so far. So I'm sure I will go back at some point. Whether or not I remember I can play as Raiden, I can't guarantee, but I will. We'll probably go back and try it at one point. Yeah.
So what do you say, Noise? Yay or nay?
Yeah, I think yay.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Chris. So no. We were trying to punk you and get a bigger reaction out of you, so you can't play as Raiden.
Gosh dang it.
So I was hoping during that episode when it's like, dude, you could play as Raiden. I said all nonchalant or whatever. I was hoping to get like a what? You gotta be, but you were like, oh, okay. I was like, God damn it, Chris, because during your stream, I was gonna tell you like after you beat the boss, I was gonna be like, hey, why don't you play as But me and Noise were like, oh, just say it on the episode or whatever. Because again, my typing is bad on Discord. But for anyone else who's listening out there that is going like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You can't play as Raiden. Like, that's the joke, Chris. You can't play as Raiden because the entire, what was it, starting Metal Gear Solid 4, I think the trailer, right? We were like, oh man, can't wait to play as Raiden. You're like, yeah, it looks pretty cool. We're like, yeah, man. You think you're gonna do half and half, and you were like, I think we're gonna switch off.
Well, yeah, that was well, yeah. After MGS2, my hope was that if we do play as Raiden, is that it's not like going to be like it was in MGS2 where you play as Snake and then you play as Raiden. My hope was, can we go back and forth?
Or even the opposite, like we get one cool mission as Raiden and then the rest of the game as Snake, because then you'd be like, fuck, well, you just tease me with them,
Just do the exact opposite.
Two. Well, so that brings us to, I guess, the first point I wanted to make here was that what do you think about the fact that Raiden, it was completely not playable in this game at all? Were you a little disappointed? Were you like, okay, it is what it is? It's Snake.
Yeah, I was definitely disappointed. Well, I had mentioned there were a few times where Raiden was in those action shots, and it's like, why don't I get to play?
Why don't I get to do that? That is, yeah.
One example, the first one I brought up was when he was fighting with Vamp that first time. Mm-hmm. And he was, playing breakdancing with the geckos and everything. It's like, why don't I get to do this? And I get like, they want to show his abilities and everything. You can only do that through a cutscene. But like like it's fine. Show that ability. Let me play as him for a little while, then show that ability, and let me play as him again. But they're just nope. You just get to watch this. You're only a spectator to this. And it bugs me that was the way they did it. I didn't like that.
Well, that is what is kind of also a big, I guess, talking point or controversy point or something like that. Is that I think everybody, Bacon, you can chime in as well. Like we were all like ready, like after hating on Raiden, most of us, I can't say everyone did. After hating on Raiden from 2, we're like, oh shit, like okay, he's kind of cool. He's a ninja. Like fuck yeah, I want to play as him. And then Kojima and team were like, nah, you guys didn't like him. You guys don't get to play as him or something like that. It was just kind of like was it done on purpose to kind of punish us, if you will, for like not liking him from the beginning? Or what was the whole decision behind it?
1,000% that was Kojima trolling everyone. 100%. God, like it's after everyone complains about Raiden so much and hates it so much, then makes him Gray Fox 2.0.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Don't you mean Black Ninja 3.0?
That 3.
But yeah, so it was just a big joke. It's like again, I just wonder like whoever's listening to these episodes, like when they're like again, if they're a first timer, here's the big reveal, you can't. So if you went back and tried to do it and you're like fucking calling out bullshit, it was because it was a joke against Chris. And if you're a veteran player and you're if you're a veteran player and you're like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about, it was a joke that kind of went nowhere. So.
to be fair, I should have known that was the case though, because how many other times have you done that to me? Like, oh, you can do this, with this very same game. If you blend into the floor and you walk in the mines, it won't recognize you and they won't blow up.
Okay.
So,
but I also have said truthful things like tranking the legs of the geckos and stuff. So.
Yeah, but you also just made other stuff up, like he shot the knife. So
I did not make that.
We looked at it. I was streaming that, and our buddy I Am Robotic was in the stream, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna see it. Let's look to see is there any kind of muzzle flash or sound effect or anything like that." Nope, there was nothing.
But there wouldn't be a muzzle flash. It's the trank gun.
There would be at least a little.
A poof, yes.
A poof.
Poof.
Just the sound effect poof, like in graphic novels.
No, the gun would actually like a little hair poof would pop out, and it would just have a poof at the end of the barrel.
Instead of bang, just poof.
Yeah, just a little poof, the little pompadour that Chris loves so much on Screaming Mantis.
Oh man,
Oh. I was like, what
it looks like air dams on those big trucks, on semi trucks. It looks so dumb.
But yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to start off with, was just saying that, like,
by the way, no offense to all the ladies that are listening to this that wear that hairstyle.
Or guys.
Yeah, no, I hate the hairstyle. I don't hate you. I just don't like the hairstyle. That's all. It's nothing personal.
But yes, to all you men that are wearing it, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it.
But yeah, that's what I want to start off with by saying is that, like, yeah, it's widely known as a troll / a big FU to all of us, that because I think Noisy mentioned it, that Kojima really liked Raiden. He was like, oh, I love this guy, and then we all hated him. So he was like, what the fuck? Like, maybe he was butthurt. So he said, all right, I'm gonna make him really cool, and you guys don't get to play as him.
Yeah, I didn't think Raiden was that bad.
In 2?
Yeah. I didn't have that much of a problem with him, so
I don't know. You hated Rose, I know that. Don't you hate that he doesn't stand up to Rose? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I don't know. It's just we were so like, I don't know, because to us, for whatever reason, maybe because of the time in which we played Metal Gear Solid, we were like, Snake is fucking badass. Even though he's just pixels, he was just goddamn pixels. He was badass. So we wanted to play as him, and now in HD, or not HD. Would it be HD? PS2?
Well, it was
better graphics for sure.
I think it had progressive. If you had like component cables, I think it was progressive. Maybe 480p.
But nonetheless, like higher polygon count. So we wanted to like, hell yeah, I want to play as him. And again, tanker mission is awesome. And then that's it. And then you're like, dude, where's my Snake? I want to play as fucking Snake.
You know what I think it also is? Since you've been referencing Star Wars, I think it's also the Anakin Skywalker effect, where it's like, hey, my protagonist shouldn't be this whiny bitch. Why is he such a whiny bitch?
Yeah.
Which is funny because Luke in the first one is a whiny bitch, but only for like the first half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luke is never like that ever again for the rest of the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah. After that, he's pretty centered and
Yeah, but as soon as Anakin like grows up and in the Clone Wars, he's just this creepy, like annoying, like woe is me, like no one treats me like an equal for the rest of the thing, all the way to the end. All the way to the end, like from my perspective, it's the Jedi that are evil. Like, what the God damn it. This is third grade level writing. Why did nobody edit George Lucas?
Even as a kid, wasn't he all like, "Are you an angel?" or some shit like that?
But I feel like as a kid, he wasn't
more believable. Not whiny, but
he wasn't whiny. How did this non-whiny kid, this little kid in episode 1, become this whiny adult?
Oh no!
Did you ever notice that? He's like so confident in the first one, and like even his mother describes him as like someone he just gives without wanting anything, right?
Yeah.
And then as an adult, he just becomes selfish as fuck.
He does actually. You know what the truth is? I've only seen the Star Wars movies, and I mean all of them as a collective once, just to say I've seen them. So I can't like really go back in my memory and say, oh yeah, I remember this, I remember that. But I do know what you're talking about because he does become very like, I want to be a Jedi, I want to do this. I was like, yeah. As a kid, he was willing to. I don't know. He just wasn't like that for sure. At least from my take on it. He was the pod racer, and he was very like, oh, I'm gonna race to make money or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he was racing for. What was it for? Just glory or for money?
For glory.
Like before he was helping out Qui-Gon. For fun. Like he just loved it because it was a way for him to like hone his skills. Like he was just naturally, he was made out of midichlorians basically. So he just is the Force when you think about it. So he was just like, I love doing this because I'm good at it. Even though apparently he's never won a race until that. Anyway.
I just remember the bad guy or his what do you call it? Rival Sebulba, right? Was that his
Sebulba?
name?
Yeah.
Sebulba.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
just like constantly
the pod
sabotaging
racing
him.
game, that pod racing game for I think GameCube was pretty damn good.
N64. Oh, you know what? I think they also made one for GameCube. Now I think about it.
Maybe the 64 version is what I'm thinking about too. Though. Yeah.
They've like read it.
Oh, okay. And then there was that.
A bunch of times too now.
Did you guys ever get to play the full size like
the arcade one?
The arcade, yeah, with like the actual left and right pedals, or arm. What would you call them?
Yeah, you literally had to push them both forward to go forward, and then like
pull one back.
Yeah, dude, it was so hard to wrap my mind around at the beginning. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Sometimes I'd come to a complete halt because I have them both like back, and I'm like, "Why am I not going?" And I'm like, "Oh god, I gotta go forward again."
That was a good game.
Every time that I'm using my lawnmower, that's what I'm thinking about.
yes, dude. Or the snowblower and stuff like that. I do the same thing, dude. I'm like,
right, because you have both the little cranks, I guess. Or what are they? I guess.
Yeah,
the augers and all that.
Yeah. But that's kind of the vibe I get. I get the grown up, adolescent to grown up Anakin Skywalker feel from Raiden in 2, and we got the exact opposite in 4. We got this guy who just kind of gave up on life and is just like, he's actually young Anakin Skywalker, where he's doing shit for others without asking anything in return. He's just like, I'm here to protect you now. Also, he wants to die.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just wanted to bring that up. So I don't know what else if you want to, Chris. Yeah, so let's start off with that. Chris, any questions?
Our new segment, questions for Chris. It took us a whole year to come up with this segment.
Yeah. First and foremost, why Rose?
Or from Chris, sorry. Why Rose? Why not?
Why? Well, she served no purpose in this game.
Why Snooki? Why does Snooki exist? She serves no purpose on the planet.
Like she really served no purpose at all in this game, other than
she doesn't, man. She doesn't do shit. Like
even the thing we were told she does for us, she doesn't do.
Yeah,
she just goes like, Snake, your psyche looks good. Keep it up. Snake, your psyche looks bad. You should rest or some shit.
Because it's honestly the whole like psyche thing is kind of is a non-factor unless you're playing on
on the boss extreme. Jesus Christ, it's so.
You're right about that, Bacon. I did want to point out that
it's such a handicap.
I definitely don't really care for the psyche and the stress too much. I get it, but I don't know. It just didn't really work for me. I did like Snake Eater's stamina a little better because it was just you just kind of had to stop every now and then, eat some food, or make sure you got leeches on you or stuff like that, But in this one, yeah, I just felt like it didn't really matter because, especially on Big Box Extreme, you're pretty much constantly stressed because if you get caught, you're instantly like stressed out the fucking moon. And then you're also stressed if you're in the sun. So like if you're trying to go nice and slow and do the belly crawl, you're stressed the fuck out. So if you're in the sun, you're stressed. You're like, so when am I not stressed? What's the fucking point then?
Yeah, I think Kojima's telling us that being old is stressful. Thanks, Kojima.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years later, I get it.
I did.
You're old. Oh.
I did want to point
It's time
out,
to shave my beard, dude. I'm gonna just leave the mustache.
Use the mustache. I've been wanting to do that, and then my cousin Nico did it first, and I was like, "You piece of shit!" I was like, literally, like the week I was gonna do it, the weekend I was gonna shave my beard and keep my mustache, especially because we're about to come into Metal Gear Solid 4. Like
I was gonna say we should have done it for the whole playthrough.
Yeah, I was gonna do the math teacher mustache, and then I saw my cousin, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, I was gonna do that, you piece of shit." And like now, if I do it, I'm gonna think I'm copying you. But yeah, the point is, I want to do it, so I might still do it. Just keep my mustache. I've done the full clean before a while ago, and I like it, but then I do get tired of not having any facial hair. So
and your chin gets so cold.
Your whole mouth,
weird.
Your whole lips, and everything is cold.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, everything. It's crazy how much a beard really, like, even if it's like, I don't have much, but just that little amount, like, really blocks wind somehow. Like, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my badge, my work badge, I have only the mustache.
Mm-hmm. I did want to. Yeah, you do your little mustache there. Your Adam Gomez mustache.
The pencil mustache.
You mean Gomez Adams?
Gomez Adams? Yeah, there you go. We're Japanese here. We go last name first.
Adam Gomez-san.
No, but you're right, Chris. Why Rose? Completely useless. I think it was shoehorned in, unfortunately, just to give you the whole plot line of Colonel pretending to be her husband in order to protect them. At the end there.
Yeah.
Because it even adds to the Meryl thing too, like to make Meryl hate him more. Like she already hates him already.
Sure, he did. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't need to hate him more.
I did want to say something that I think I probably forgot to mention last time. Not that it's a big deal, not that it would change anything, but yeah, so much callback, so much what do you call it? What's the word? Fan service and all kinds of shit, But the one character that just literally they're done with. Dale was done and over with. That I find interesting is fucking Natasha. Like she's just gone. I mean, she's mentioned slightly in Metal Gear Solid 2, just mentioned, and that's it, man. Like she wasn't an important character. But yeah, she's gone. Like I said, we got Meryl, we got Mei Ling, we got fucking Rose.
I think she was murdered for whistleblowing.
Probably, dude. Yeah, actually, no shit.
When you think about it, like that's what happens to those people. Like they just disappear.
They disappear. And her husband was Ames, so
Yeah, I mean, an IRL, Hunter S. Thompson, the writer of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and all those other, because he was a journalist. Coincidentally, after writing about 9/11, shot himself in the face.
What?
Yeah, in the way that he said he would go out. He said that I'm not going to die of natural causes. I'm gonna take myself out.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's just weird. Just one of those other things that Metal Gear, and the whole, like Jeremy and I said, we went into that rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah.
When those kind of things happen, you're kind of like, it's kind of hard to not believe them or speculate on them. So I think that's probably what happened to Natasha off screen, I guess is how we would call it. Because if she's never mentioned again, and the last thing she did was whistleblow about Shadow Moses. That was most likely her fate.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
but yeah, Chris, to answer your question, yeah, why Rose? I believe it or not, I don't hate her as much, but she is fucking useless.
No, I believe it because you haven't shown it, but
no, she is so like again during this playthrough here, and especially watching you like not want to call her, and then I'm like, man, she is actually useless. She does nothing.
Yeah, nothing. There's no purpose to her being there. I would argue even as far as the story, she didn't have to be with him. She could have been hidden. She could have been hidden somewhere.
She could have been.
She didn't have to be out in the open. They could have just talked about her.
I wonder. Okay, let's take a quick vote. I wonder who's more useless. Is Rosemary more useless than what was his fucking face, McMiller or fucking Solid Snake, the guy that would just tell you the country's GDP and all kinds of.
Why do you keep saying he's useless? He literally tells you not to touch the goddamn hamsters that killed you. He tells you about the pigeons that you have to fucking feed. He's not useless.
He tells you information about animals. That's useful. That's fun.
He tells you about the fucking owl. He tells you
the snake. Yeah, he tells you about all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Miller gives you more useless information in Solid 1. With just he gives you like random fact. I mean, it's like educational, I guess, but sometimes it's definitely not pertinent to the goddamn gameplay. I mean, he tries to explain to you how to stock and you can't use it. Like, thanks, Miller. / Liquid, son of a bitch. Yeah,
I guess in that sense, yeah, then Rose would be more useless.
I think they were also trying to fill up the Codec Call screen, because there's just Otacon.
Yeah,
there's not even a save frequency anymore. So we can't talk too much right now about that stuff. But yeah, I did mention that in one episode. I do miss multiple frequencies. I do miss that there's like no one to call for about anything really.
Yeah. Speaking of codecs, I just remembered that I don't know what episodes I brought him up, but Jeremy Blaustein, the guy who completely wrote MGS1, pretty much in his words than in Kojima's, he also came up with the term codec because I guess Kojima was just kind of doing like, he was just saying like radio or two-way something in like the traditional Japanese sense. And Jeremy Blaustein, like he did all the research of like the military stuff and all the terminology and everything. And he came up with the word codec because that was like a real military term.
Interesting.
So we have him to thank for the title of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kojima. So go fuck yourself, Kojima.
Chris, I was going to ask you. So early in the podcast history, there was some recurring characters in that sense. Like Schneider came back for Solid Snake, and we were thinking maybe Holly would come back or certain characters. And up to this point now, the fact that none of the earlier game characters, except for obviously like Big Boss and Gray Fox, came up at all. Did you ever like really like at any point in this game where you're like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna bring back someone from the old school games, or were you just kind of like you were just kind of like they're done, right?
No, I was surprised they brought back Big Boss, to be honest.
Oh, okay,
like
Me
not
too.
the idea of Big Boss, but that he was actually there. Was a huge shocker for me. Even when it was before, when he was in that bag thing and we thought it was him. When Evo was talking about him, I was surprised at that. But yeah, I did not expect. I wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe we'll see any of those old characters again. That had never crossed my mind.
Right, because like in 1, they talk about the remains of Big Boss. They never did say that he was dead, and so when I first saw him in 4, before I noticed the eye. And I saw him and I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, how long has he been like this?
Oh, yeah.
Since,
just a vegetable.
Yeah, just a vegetable, being able to look around.
I'm saying that's a horrible fate. Yeah, 100%.
And it was from 1999, I guess, was the Zanzibar land incident. So from 1999 all the way to 2014, when this game was set, that's fucking 15 years like that.
Yeah.
It's fucked. So yeah, but when I noticed the eye, I was like, oh wait, that's not him. So, but it made me question, why are we still talking about Big Boss and his body if that is Solidus? So I feel kind of the same way. I feel like I was fucking taken aback when I saw him alive, and I was like, why? What? To me, I was like, what is the purpose of this? Like, I get it to exposition, this and that, but yeah, it definitely took me aback. I was just kind of like, I thought we were done with him before I even knew who this guy was, before I even, Metal Gear Solid.
Right. That was for sure a shocker of him showing up at all. And it's only in the last 45 minutes of the game, just to explain that him and Zero didn't talk. Like, and then it was just so odd that like all of it stemmed from Zero's essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, the Patriots, at least, from him.
But you get like, but we don't find out about that at all in 4. There was no mention of Zero being behind everything until then.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so weird too. It's like, it's almost like, Chris, wouldn't you wish there was like a game that explained all this, like, or just showed you all this thing happening instead of a 1.5 hour exposition about what the fuck
Yeah,
happened.
oh yeah. If there was a game that they made take place between these, I guess it would be right after the events of MGS3. Yeah.
Or no,
Portable Ops.
Portable Ops.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, after Portable Ops. Yeah.
Right, because they're still buddies then in Portable
Yeah.
Ops, I think. Right?
If it had taken place after that, then it would have been a game as opposed to here's over an hour of exposition about what we could have made a game of.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to listen to somebody like German and I know because we go into people's houses, and especially older customers will tell us their fucking life stories. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are like, good fucking God. Like, I'd rather be watching the last hour and a half of Metal Gear Solid 4 than to listen to you right now. Like, this is fucking nuts. What was cool is that one customer, remember I told you he had just restored a single action army, and he was telling me how he fucking would repair guns and shit. I was like, this is interesting. Like, why don't all my customers talk about fucking crazy shit like this? Like, I used to be a fucking spy for MI6 or something, like.
Yeah.
Or I guess the MI5 because there's no such thing as MI6. Wink, wink.
Do you know? Yeah. No.
Oh, and Chris, did you ever realize who the Arms Tech head was from MGS1?
Arms Tech. No.
Arms Tech president?
Yeah.
Oh, Decoy Octopus?
But who, yes. But who he was actually was, though, in the story?
Shit, I don't think I know this.
That was Sigan.
No. DARPA chief.
Mixed it up there. DARPA chief.
Dude, you hella blew my mind just now. I was like, whoa, dude, did I totally miss something about Kenneth Baker? Like, what the fuck?
I think that was brought up. Yeah, someone brought it up.
Well, when it was brought up in the game, you were, I think, chatting, and who was it? Hey Jay or somebody was like, "You messed it! You messed it!"
Oh
They're
yeah,
so mad at you. They're like, "Restart the game, start it all over."
Yeah.
No, I think I missed it too the first time. I think it wasn't until because I think I told you, German, that when you put in the disc in your PS3, there's a little. Where is it? I forget where in the PlayStation menu. There's like a whole nother thing that's just called the MGS4 database, and all the lore is there. And I think it wasn't until I read that I was like, "Oh shit, what?" And yeah,
I think it was so cool,
right? And it told you, like, I think that's where I also found out about Paramedic, that she was Dr. Clark, and and Siget and all this other shit. And I was just like, "What the fuck?" And when the Les Enfants Terribles project happened and whatever, and all this other crazy stuff that you definitely miss just by watching, because like just by watching sometimes you're not going to get everything.
Yeah. If they had a game that included the Les Enfants Terribles, the whole Zero stuff, all that stuff, like that would have made an interesting game. Even if they had split it into 2 games, whatever, that's fine. But I much would have rather had that than this hour long. We're just going to spoon feed you this information because this is what we decided happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, the only thing that I said that from the what do you call it, Portable Ops, this replay through, because originally, like I said, I probably only beat it once, maybe twice back in the day. Was just that line that Noise hates, and I get it. Just pretend they said the right words, Noise. When Gene is talking to somebody, which is Ocelot, and then he's like, oh, you're the one who's feeding you this information. It's the one with the same code name as Null, whatever. It was Zero. It was just mentioned that Zero was already doing shit back then. That when I was like, oh, so because I agree, my first playthrough of 4, I was like, when the fuck did all this shit happen? Like, when did they have an outing? When did they turn against each other? Like, it kind of felt like out of left field, but I guess Zero was still there since Portable Ops. He was just never seen. Or can you play as Zero? I thought we saw him in the trailer, right? I must have never unlocked him.
Either Portable Ops or Plus. I know Plus. In Plus you can get fucking everybody. You can get Old Snake in Plus.
But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, so like I agree with you there too. Like it was out of left field. Like out of left field, like you just get this big dialogue from Big Mama way earlier in Act 3, from the act that shall not be named. Big Mama's like, yeah, Zero, they went against each other, and then sends it. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, Zero.
When did this happen?
Yeah, you're like, really? Like, okay, I guess.
I think it made me feel left out. should I go play Portable Ops because maybe this is where this shit happens? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. No, and then, well, like I said, in Portable Ops, like I said, for me, I like the game, but yeah, it Portable Ops does feel like it's its own thing because it doesn't have anything to do with any of the players. Yeah, you call paramedic and you call Sig and Swan. And Ocelot shows up at the cutscene at the end, but
Well, I mean, this is where we meet Roy also.
yeah, that's where we met Roy
and Gray Fox, Frank Yeager. But still, I mean, as far as like the overall, like, it has nothing to do with Les Enfants Terribles and all that shit, is what you're saying.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like what Chris was saying. If Portable Ops had more to do about Les Enfants Terribles, or we actually got to see the falling out, like it was a bigger game in sense of like the end boss ends up, you end up, big boss himself sees like, what the fuck, Zero, you set me up. It's like, hey man, this is all for her dream or whatever. Like, nah, fuck you or something, versus just ending the game. And then all of a sudden in 4, it's like, oh, here's all this shit that happened right after Portable Ops. You're like, really? Like, okay.
Yeah.
So to put in this perspective for people, this is the equivalent of me. This is the equivalent of like you go to see a movie, and whether the beginning of the movie, end, or wherever, or even partway through, instead of showing these events happening, you just have a narrator come on, and you stop the movie. The narrator comes on and says, "This is what's happening," and it doesn't show anything. He just talks about it, and then you continue with the movie.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what it feels like. Yes.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to state it anymore, but I'll say that's my frustration with this game. But yeah, it left me fucking left out because I was like, I want to know more. Instead of tying loose ends, it caused more questions in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
100%.
Right? Like, where can we see this? You've already done a prequel. Can you do this again? Or can someone make a novel? I'll go read it. I was always down for that kind of shit with like the Star Wars books. Like, I didn't read a bunch of them, but I read some, and I was like, "Ooh, this is fucking interesting." Like Darth Plagueis and all this shit with the original Emperor and all that stuff is nuts. And Darth Maul, because he shows up in the Clone Wars, and you're like, "Wait, why didn't he fucking die in Episode 1?" So I was like, I need to find out how he ended up what he is, And so give me books, I'll read them. But that alas, it didn't happen.
Yeah, or like the whole thing with Raiden going to get Sunny. Like, where's all that?
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I want that game.
Right? Don't we all?
Or Raiden getting squished and then just suddenly appearing again as if nothing had happened.
That's a whole.
It's just a mini game of you like putting yourself back together. I'm okay.
It's a puzzle game, yeah.
Yes.
A puzzle game, nice.
Like one of those 15-piece sliding puzzles. That's what it is. You just got to put them back together.
No, it's funny you guys should mention.
I want to make a custom one that has that. It's just writing in pieces.
Because as you guys know, I'm not a big reader because I can't really read too well. But I also was like, I want more books. I want more shit to read about. Like, I want to know more about those Les Enfants Terribles. I want to know more about, before I really knew, I guess, about the MSX versions. I was like, I don't want to, at the time, I was like, I don't really want to play them, but like, I'll read about them. Like, give me a nice novel about what happened in Zanzibar Land. I'll read that, I'll try to read it at least,
It is surprising that the Metal Gear games really didn't go outside the video game media, except for those graphic novels.
Well, again,
and there's one novelization of Metal Gear Solid 1, but it's like insanely inaccurate. Like, the guy took hella liberties with a bunch of shit. But yeah, it never really branched out.
Is that the In Darkness of Shadow Moses?
There was one for 2 as well.
There was a novelization of 2 also?
Yep.
Okay.
I have it actually.
Okay. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not the Natasha one. No, it's like actual.
Same guy, actually, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's right. You did mention that, Bacon. Because like you said, like there's a lot of people that they're like, oh, I don't like video games. And you're like, but dude, I think Metal Gear 1 would be right up your alley. If it was a book, I'm sure you'd read it. But
yeah, like it's the lore here is ripe for exploration.
Yeah.
But I think it's dangerous to let others touch it. That's the thing, is we're rabid fans, so we're like, don't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is there should at least be the option. Like, I understand, like German said, he doesn't like to read and probably wouldn't, and that's fine.
Reading doesn't like
I'm
him.
Sure, yeah, that's true. And there's probably plenty of other fans of the Metal Gear series who, no, I don't care to read about that. I love this game for what it is, for entertainment purposes, whatever. They just love the game, and that's fine. let them have that. Let them keep that. But the book should be there as an option for those who want to know. Like, I want more details. I want to know more about what happened, as opposed to just this hour-long cutscene or what was explained to me in this one area, this little paragraph here. I want to know more details. I want to experience it for myself. That should at least be an option for those people.
Yeah, like I always like novelizations of movies, especially when I was younger. Like I used to read a shit ton, like in middle school and high school and stuff. And when I found out there was like a novelization of the first Alien movie, I was like, what? I fucking read that shit. And yeah, because it may not be canon, whatever, according to like Ridley Scott or whatnot, but it helped me like dive deeper into like the minds of the characters. Like this is possibly what they were thinking, and just more information about the world. Like anytime there's an adaptation of a book, whether it be TV or movie, it piques my interest, and I'm like, I should probably go read this because I just want to know more. I just want to dive in deeper, and I think this was a missed opportunity. Outside of MGS 1 and 2 being novelized.
Yeah, but I also think they shouldn't have just thrown that stuff in there. And this is how we're going to deliver this to you, whether you like it or not. This is your option. Or this is how you're going to have it. So I didn't like it.
Like if they would have done like maybe some flashbacks in the style of the comic book look.
Oh yeah.
That would be
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more interesting. But yeah, it's just a person talking at you. It's hard to pay attention to.
Yeah. No, I think you bring up a good point there. If they had flashbacks, or if they'd had even still images, of this is what happened, and shown at least a couple of images of stuff like that, as opposed to people literally just sitting and talking to each other, it would have made it much more
Snake didn't
interesting.
Say shit. He was just standing there.
Nothing at all. Snake was us. Literally.
Yeah, Snake was just like, what?
Yeah.
But that is for sure a thing that it's so frustrating that you can always tell when it doesn't matter if it's a show, game, movie, has just overstayed its welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And the writers never had a plan past a certain point. It's obvious every time.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to end it, and they just kind of like kept going and trailed off.
And that's one thing that, as far as like all those like cop shows and stuff, where it's like NCIS, all that, where there's a ton of episodes.
Oh, fuck off! You leave Lost alone.
There's not a lot of point to those, whereas I have so much love for One Piece because it's like, hey, it's so long, but there's things that Oda set up in chapter 300 that's now coming to fruition 700 chapters later. Like
I'm sorry, did you just say chapter 300?
Yes.
One Piece has over 1,000 episods. Well, over 1,100 at this point. Yeah,
that's long-winded. You can't.
It is.
You can't give Lost shit. That's crazy.
So good. Yeah, it's currently on chapter 1,137.
Jesus Christ!
Came out today.
Is it any closer to being over? I have not. I know of One Piece.
That's the Nintendo After Dark anime.
I know of it. I remember back in the day,
exclusively on Pornhub.
I started watching it, but I got out of it and I not picked it up since. Is it any closer to being done?
It's on its final saga.
Really?
Which that can still be another 5 years though.
Oh shit!
I think based on what I've heard, because I don't actually read the manga. I actually watch reviews of the manga from a guy called Tekken, and he thinks it's gonna be another maybe 2 years.
2 to 5 it's still for the final arc. It's still pretty.
Yeah, but it's been going on for over 20.
That's how long this fucking anime has been going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
But unlike Akira Toriyama,
sorry.
Unlike Akira Toriyama, Odin actually remembers. Not Odin. Oda actually remembers like things he set up long ago. Whereas Akira Toriyama was
far away.
Yeah, Akira was famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it, for explaining one thing one way, and then 2 years later, oh, it's because of this actually. And you're like, it wasn't because of this. Oh yeah, I forgot. Now it's because of this now.
Yeah, or just straight up forgetting shit. Like,
Yeah.
like the Tales again. It's so
The
it's
Tales.
so such
It
a
sounds
famous
like
thing. There's like
sounds like
people are
somebody
wait.
else we know.
It's like, what happened to the Tales? He's like, oh yeah, they're gone now. Okay.
Yeah.
Tales, or just like a character's hair color just changes
Yeah.
Because
Your shirt
screw
is black.
you.
Red shirt.
Well, speaking of like freaking inconsistencies or whatever, or rewrites or whatever you want to call it, I do hate how like in what was it, the newer movie Super whatever, I can't remember which one anymore, Super or some shit. Like
What?
like that's one of the movies.
Dragon Ball superheroes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
No, but one of the rewrites, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, Bulma has an older sister that's actually smarter than Bulma. She's the one that really made the Dragon Radar, and she knows Jocko. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where did this shit come from? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right, we're back, Noise. he literally that was perfect time.
Just looking at my watch.
Noise over here. We just sound like wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Nerds.
Yeah. Listen, I like anime, but when it goes on for that long, it's time to stop. That's why I don't even think I made it all the way through Ranma, because the second half was really like, where's this going, guys? Like, seriously, like it just needs to stop. So I think I only made it through like 5 seasons, and I was like, I'm good. I didn't even really like the movie either. I was like, meh.
I do agree with you. In the sense of like, if they start going nowhere, I do kind of start losing interest. But One Piece does have overall, from what I understand, the world is pretty cool. I'm like, dude, pirates? Come on, that's fucking awesome. Freaking what do you call it? What are the Marines? What are the bad guys? The Navy?
Yeah,
Both, yeah.
Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the character designs, like, dude, like, it's so cool. Like, again, I want to jump into it, but like, fuck, starting from all over again. Like, I don't know, man.
I guess that's for our One Piece podcast.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, German, because I think it's Netflix is remaking One Piece, starting over from the beginning, and they're going to fix a lot of the pacing issues and stuff.
Just leave it. Just leave it how it is. Like, I haven't seen this, but it's too much. This is just
well on top, doing that on top of also doing the live action.
Yeah.
Right. I know about that too. Yeah. It's one thing to be like, oh shit, we fucked up like Full Metal Alchemist. Let's redo that. But that's not as fucking long as like One Piece. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just stop fucking remaking things, for the love of fucking Christ. Like, I don't even want any more fucking remakes of any Metal Gear shit. Like, Delta, I hope that's the last fucking thing you do. Please make something new. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I don't want to remake for 1. I don't want to remake for the MSX ones. I'm going to play those the way they are. It's fine. I have a great imagination. I can picture Big Boss on fire.
Not even like we talked about for the Acid remakes?
Give us, do like German said. Give us 3. Give us Metal Gear Acid 3, right?
That's fair, yeah.
Make another standalone game or standalone story. Make it as long as 1 with the mechanics of 2, and voila. And add some more stuff. Fucking shit.
No.
Give Lay 1 back? No.
Lay 1, bring it back. Lay 2.
Lay 1.
Acid 3, the pachinko game.
Oh, jeez.
The what?
The pachinko.
The
Oh, God.
pachinko.
Could you imagine if someone like a big Metal Gear fan bought one of those and took it home? Because I'm sure they got decommissioned at some point. It's just like, I want one.
100%.
Just has a fucking. Do you know about that? Did we tell you, Chris? You know what pachinko is,
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, we haven't told him. Yeah.
So, well, it's because it didn't really happen until 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, not too long ago.
After this series was done, after Kojima had left Konami, people were seeing like these high res images of like,
oh yeah, you did tell me about that. That's
Naked
right,
Snake and the boss, and we're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Are they remaking Snake Eater? And no, they were just fucking pachinko machines.
Yep.
Which I don't even know how do you play that shit? But it's just like, you're such fucking assholes, Konami. Like, what a way to spit in the faces of fans. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, there's Castlevania pachinko games. I think there's a Castlevania slot machine. I think I saw in fucking here in the States.
You know what else I found today? Also, as we're derailing, there are mobile versions of the Acid games.
Oh, really?
They were released in 2008. Not in the States. They were only available for like Sony Ericsson phones.
Damn, I still have mine too.
Yeah. Like I was just like looking for because I don't know if you guys remember, I got a quiz coming for you. So if you guys listening out there, don't change that dial. We got a quiz coming for you. But yeah, I found fucking Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2 mobile editions for like the Sony Ericssons. And I was like, what? How did this not even come up in my fucking research until I was doing this today? So yeah, really strange.
This is another rabbit trail. But when do you think terms like "don't touch that dial," "tune in," things like that, when do you think those will finally die off?
When TV is no longer available.
But
Because
I mean, even with TV, there's no dial.
No. But what I mean is, we'll always see old movies that make that reference, or TV shows that make that reference, right?
When the save icon is no longer a floppy disk.
Yeah, because I mean, did we grow up with that term?
Dial?
Don't touch that dial.
I had.
Well, we never had
guess
dials, though.
more of my grandparents had those, but yeah, I grew up with TVs that had dials.
Yeah.
No, but I mean them saying it to us on TV, like as when they're going to commercials, you know, like, don't touch that dial, we'll be right back, and blah blah blah.
No,
yeah,
don't touch that remote.
Cartoons,
they did say that in
yeah.
our generations. Okay, I don't remember that. Okay,
Yeah,
Wheel of
a
Fortune?
lot of Saturday, a lot of Saturday morning cartoons would do that. Don't touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Yeah,
you know,
and
things like that.
Yeah, because I mean, we still make references to the way people talked before television.
Yeah,
right. You know, just like that radio voice that always talked like this, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Conan O'Brien.
I think it's they'll go away. They won't go away. They'll go away when we stop doing them, and we won't, because they're become. You know what, Chris? They will go away in a couple hundred years when the pop culture has changed to something different.
Well, but look how. So when we were young, right, we had words like rad, radical, things like
tubular.
That. Yeah. How long?
Gnarly.
You know, how long were those known or popular? You know, compared to nowadays, like the rate at which our language is evolving is increasing. I wouldn't say exponentially.
Kids say, well, brah. And
I say bruh all the time. Bruh.
We say that all the time.
That's
Kids don't.
So this, I think this has to do with.
He says evolving. I'm like, dude, they're cutting out syllables more and more.
Bruh.
He's just gonna be like,
yeah, we're literally just gonna go back to being fucking chimps,
just grunts and shit.
I think it depends where you are too, because like if you're hanging out at the Mavericks, hitting the fucking waves, you are gonna hear someone say like radical, tubular, gnarly, and shit like that. Still,
yeah.
And plus, there's also the newer generations that God, I hate saying this, but think of my generation as vintage and think it's cool. Like one great example is when I went to Mexico. I also managed to attend my cousin, which is really weird. My cousin's quinceañera, because my uncle's. Damn, I think my uncle has only like 14 or 15 years on me. It's weird when you have a big family and you're Mexican, your uncles are like 4 or 5 years apart from you. But yeah, her quinceañera, and on the invitation it was like I like black things and rock and roll and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, she's at that fucking phase in her life where she thinks depressing things are cool or whatever. And at the quinceañera, she was playing like fucking like Guns N' Roses, Faith No More, fucking Bon Jovi, Black Sabbath, and crazy shit. And I'm like, where the fuck did you hear this music? Like, I'm 100% sure your dad does not listen to this. Like, where did you hear this? And she even like did like a what is that thing called, German, when they do like a dance like as the quinceañera?
The like a waltz kind of thing.
Well, just by herself or whatever. Just...
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called right now, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like so I said, just imagine like a spotlight waltz, like where it's just her and her companion or whatever, right?
Well, it was just her and two of her friends, and and they like danced to like rock and roll, dude. Like they just threw on some like I don't even know what it was. I'll throw out like Chuck Berry or something. But yeah, they were like, and she was dancing rock and roll, like she was doing the kicks and everything, and I was like, what the hell? I have 25 years on this girl, and she's dancing to this music that I grew up on because of my dad, but I also heard it as it was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Like somehow everything repeats itself. I mean, look at these they're dressing like we used to.
Yeah, I guess
torn jeans and shit.
That's true. Because I remember
they're
when
buying
I was
torn
younger,
jeans.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger. well, you guys probably remember too when bell bottoms came back into fashion,
Oh man, I was
and our
like,
parents
this
were
is
like,
awesome.
"What the hell is this?" Yeah, like you don't even know what bell bottoms are, and yeah, it's and then we
Bell
had
bottom
the
jeans, which was the weirdest thing. I was like, these actually
Yeah.
look pretty dope.
and then I mean we had our back in the 90s, the real baggy pants, hanging
Yeah.
down halfway down your
Jinkos?
legs.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, yeah.
exactly. Those came back for a while, which makes me wonder, and I hope it doesn't. Are skinny jeans going to come back too?
I
hope
think they're
to
still
God they
around,
don't,
dude.
but
I think they're still
Yeah,
are
around.
they?
Yeah, but
Yes.
they left.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think
they're
they've
still
left.
around.
I have not seen them for years, honestly.
Just because
And
you can't
I'm-
fit into skinny jeans, Chris, doesn't mean they're not around. I'm
No,
just messing with you.
He's so jealous.
No, I oh my gosh, there's no part of me that wants skinny jeans. No, just no thanks.
Oh man, no,
Um,
they're around. 100% they're around. I see them all
Okay,
the fucking time.
I have not seen them for years. Okay,
All
maybe
right.
it's just
But
where I live. That's
also, like
could
each
be.
different subculture has their own style thing, and it's something that's that much more prevalent now. Is that there's so many different subcultures with everything
Yeah,
than there used to be.
Okay.
There
That's
used to be like just anime nerds, and that was just the group.
I
For now,
mean,
there's so many
otakus?
different.
Yeah.
It's otakus.
Yeah, now there's so much like subgenres of everything. Like,
Did you say nerd?
yeah, I mean, it did feel a lot more general back then. Jocks, nerds, and
Skaters, stoners, Scots.
yeah. Now it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, and even skaters break down into different groups, and goths break down into different groups, and
that's true because you have the goths, you have emos, you have the in betweens, you have the posers. Yeah, geez, imagine what Breakfast Club would be like today.
Oh my god.
It
It would be like 20 kids in there.
I'd like to see a reimagining of that. Don't make the movie. Just
No.
like a short synopsis of what it would be about.
No,
I'd like
they
to
would
see
do
that.
it as like a 7-part miniseries.
No. SNL sketch, that's it, max. Just an SNL
Oh,
sketch.
yeah.
That's good
Okay.
enough. All right. How do we get here?
Yeah, who knows?
How long have we been talking about this? I don't
Lots
even
of
know
bunny
what's going on.
trails.
Probably, that's all right. That's all right. Well, it was to start off with Rose. Yeah, it started off with Rose, and then took
Well,
off.
no, we went into the whole, I wish we saw the Zero Big
Oh,
Boss
yeah,
thing
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
We wish we played the ending cutscene as opposed to just watched it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The One Piece threw us off and all that shit. Okay.
Oh. Everything to us.
More questions, Chris.
When this game came out in 2012,
Eight.
2008. Okay. I don't remember meme being a thing back then. Was it?
Oh,
The
no,
word, yeah.
but they're not talking about memes in the terms of we know them.
No, but the meme was a word at that point.
Meme has been a word since like ages, dude. Like I think
okay.
I think actually the first person to bring it to the forefront was that guy who wrote that book that I was talking about that MGS2 is based on, like the simulation within a simulation.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I think he brought it to the forefront, but I think it existed before that.
Okay.
And you know what's funny is I had never heard meme until about 2012 when someone was like, "Oh man, check out this meme," and I was
Yeah.
like, "What are you
Same.
fucking talking about?" And I'm reading it, and I'm like, "Meme." And I'd never felt such a disconnect with my own friends. And I realized how much older I was from them. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was only like 6 years older than the friends I had at the time. And I was like, what the meme?
You're like, no, but you're like meme. You mean this like picture? Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's just
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's like a picture with like a title, and it conveys a message.
information. Yeah.
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 And I was oh, you mean like that poster that I have where it's like a dude with a super long bong, right? And he's taking a big rip, but he can't reach the bowl, so he has another friend down at the bottom lighting up the bowl, and it's just remember those black frame memes? So it's just like a black frame, and they're doing that, and it just says teamwork. And that's how I asked them. I was like, you mean like
posters? Yeah.
Yes, motivational posters. And I asked them, like that, and they're like. They looked at me like I was such a boomer, and they're like, "Yes, just like that." And I was just like, "Okay, well now I know what a meme is."
Yeah.
It is
2012,
weird
you guys.
that word got put in there, but like Because yeah, like I mean, if you think about it, like a meme is just kind of like a one panel satirical, sometimes cartoon. A lot of times, you know.
Yeah, like those political cartoons, like
Yeah, they're.
Mhm.
I mean, those can be considered memes.
or
but
the
I think
Far Side. The Far Side is like the ultimate meme. If you ever like look at those
Yeah.
comics.
I
That's
I
true.
think it became officially, in my opinion, considered memes when they were using actual pop culture references
Yes.
to reference
The Michael
bigger
Jackson
stuff.
popcorn, things that are more recognizable.
Yeah, exactly. Because back then, like I said, if it was someone who drew, if you had drawn someone eating popcorn and posted in the comments saying like, "I'm just here to fucking read the comments," people would have laughed. But the second someone make that Michael Jackson, they were like, "Oh, I know where that's from. That's from fucking Thriller," and then that's it.
Because it brings that part of your brain where you're just like, yes, this is, if you've seen Thriller, you're like,
Yep.
Michael Jackson is so into this movie that he's ignoring his date who is terrified, and he's just like, are you seeing this movie? It's fucking great.
But yeah, no, I also made like there's a lot of terms that I was just talking to a customer, an older customer. We won't get too sidetracked, but the whole concept of like apps, it's like and
Right.
streaming,
Saying
like
the word app.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I remember the first time I heard the word app, I was like, what the fuck is an app? And they're like, oh, and then it was like a short for application. I was like, you mean program? Like it's always been called a program. Like when did it
Yep.
change to apps?
Well, I grew up
I-
saying apps with computers, and then I
Okay.
had to start referencing them as programs when smartphones came out. Because when I would say apps, people would be like I don't have anything like that on my phone, and I'm like, or yeah, and I'm like, sorry, I'm talking about computer programs. Like I literally had to
yeah.
boomerang my ass, like those are called apps. We always call them apps because it does say applications, programs and applications.
It does. Mhm.
But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that too. That pulled up another memory in my brain. But yeah.
That, or like I said,
more
streaming.
boomer moments.
Like streaming, that word, I was like, streaming. I was like, what? When I first opened my Netflix or something, I was like, what the fuck is streaming? What am I doing? What am I putting my credit card into? And now it's so like, oh yeah, streaming, yeah, just stream it. But back then you were like, what does it mean? Like, I don't know, just words.
And now we have to communicate to our customers that streaming can also be live TV because we're making that move. And so we're now also saying streaming is not just Netflix and Hulu. Where I have to explain to them like those run smoother because they are buffering a bunch of data into your device and then they play.
But even then now Netflix is also doing live TV.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that I explain to them, because sometimes they'll tell me like, why does this look shittier than Netflix? And I'm like, because the live TV has to push so fast that the video needs to be compressed like a shit ton just so it buffers very little, like maybe 1 second, and then it displays it on your TV. So it's not as high quality as a fucking 4K movie that buffered for like fucking 40 seconds or whatever, or a minute. Yeah. And then it's finally showing you your stuff. Like I always tell them, like, have you ever noticed when your internet goes out, you notice it on your phone first, and then maybe 1 or 2 minutes later, your TV goes?
It's already buffered.
It's because it's already buffered. But if it's live TV, you'll notice it right away, pretty much like a second or two later. So we have to explain that.
Oh, dude, no, we got to explain when people are like, I got streaming. And then you're like, yeah, you got Spectrum streaming. And they're like, I get like Netflix too, right? I'm like, well, yes and no, you got to pay for it. But I got the streaming. Yeah, you got our streaming, but Netflix is their own company. But it says streaming right here. I'm like, motherfucker, like, goddamn, it's hard, man.
Yeah. But why'd you bring up meme, Chris? Did they? I don't. Does Snake mention it?
Yeah, all the time, constantly.
Yeah, he brings it up a couple times. I think someone else did at some point. I don't know.
They mentioned it in Metal Gear Solid 2. Actually, it was mentioned back in Solid 2 as well.
I don't remember
the AIs.
I think the AIs mentioned like the breakthroughs in meme and shit like that.
Okay.
So they weren't referring to meme as how we know them. They refer it more to as
I mean, in a way they are, because it's a reference of a reference, and our memes now are references of references. So
yeah,
referenceception.
It's not a direct correlation, but it's a similar idea. So
yeah, memes have now become memes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, memeception. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's mind-boggling. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And by the way, I did look it up. It says that the word meme originated from Richard Dawkins' 1976 book, The selfish gene. So that was
Oh
like,
shit! I think Naomi mentions that in MGS1.
possibly for sure. I know
That
two
sounds
is mentioned.
familiar. Yeah.
Oh no! Liquid does. Liquid does when he does that unskippable monologue on top of Rex. He says, "Have you ever heard of the selfish gene theory or some shit like that?"
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You like my Liquid?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Snake, did you like my accent?
Could have sworn you were about to take off your glasses.
Yeah. Any more questions about the story? 'Cause we still need to summarize, but yeah, I want to make sure you get your questions answered.
Not that I can think of right now, so I think we're good to move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we pretty much covered it. This is part 9 of MGS4.
Yeah.
We pretty much covered everything, but I guess the gist of it is, Jesus, how many years since 2009? So 5 years have passed since the Big Shell incident. Snake has aged rapidly. We've established that it's because of just the cloning process, pretty much. It's not because of Foxdie or anything like that. It's just his genes. They're old genes that they were cloned from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was either built in by the system or it's just a natural side effect from the cloning process. He says war has changed, but oddly enough, while I was watching our friend Spy, as early as Metal Gear 1, the ID tag thing has been a thing because you can't pick up other people's weapons since Metal Gear 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't. I always just chop that up to bullshit game design, or like, nah, we're not gonna let you use any of their weapons. But it is weird that you do find that the FAMAS and other weapons, and those didn't require ID, maybe because they're free guns.
Because they haven't been assigned. And even in Metal Gear Solid 1, they mentioned that you can't use because of the fingerprint thing. Like
Yeah,
they say it in words, and I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that. So
well,
it has,
and the enemies are all genome soldiers. They talk about they've been genetically enhanced and everything. So
yeah, and the nanomachines.
There's not a lot of difference between that and sticking someone with nanomachines to enhance their abilities. So,
and then I think even Colonel AI mentions it to Raiden too, also, which is I don't know how I missed that until fucking just recently, but I was like, holy shit! Like the SOP has been in place for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but anyways, war has changed, I guess, because now there's like mini Metal Gears, that Moo and all this crazy stuff, and
Moo.
Yeah, and they shit green. Our friend Eric's favorite thing about that game.
Yeah.
Did he say that he tried the game, heard the moo, and then quit?
I think that's what he mentioned, because I remember when I was first talking about Metal Gear, and he's like he had played one of them and brought the disc home. He had rented it or something, and brought it home, started playing, heard the moo, and just turned it off and returned it.
You know what's crazy is that he made it through the installation process. He watched Snake probably smoke a shit ton of cigarettes. Watched those weird, crazy fucking commercials.
Yeah.
Had that crazy long intro.
And the moo is what did it.
And the moo is what did it.
I'm assuming is
like.
Yeah, the commercials would have been like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm assuming it was probably like the final straw, the last straw kind of thing, as opposed to that's all fine, but this is unacceptable. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, so you're basically there to assassinate Liquid. You've been sent on a mission, not by Colonel really, but no. Colonel is helping. Who's sending you on this?
No, it's just Colonel as a civilian. Technically, it's not sanctioned by anybody. It's literally like go kill Liquid because he's gonna fuck shit up.
Right. So I guess we're all mercenaries at this point. We're soldiers without a nation trying to stop the world from crumbling, basically.
So is that why he didn't want this just happened to come up? Is that why he didn't want Meryl to know that's what he was doing?
I think so, because Meryl is official UN or whatever she's.
Yeah, that's why he disguises himself.
The nanomachines and all that.
Wait, what do you mean the nanomachines?
With the system, and if they can have all her emotions, everything, then they would know what she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Like even she kind of makes it sound like because remember she asked like, "Is that all you're doing here?" And then she's like, "Look, man," she's like, "I have my orders, but but officially, like, I won't stop you. Like, if you do shit, She's like, you happen to be within shot range and take a shot. Like, I'm here to do my job, which is just keep the peace or just the visual inspect Liquid's PMC. Like she wasn't there to stop you or to help Liquid. She was just there to, again, sent by the UN or some shit like that.
Yeah, and Snake's under the guise of, yes, I'm also a UN inspector, blah, 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 with a really cool octocamo suit.
No shit. State of the art. No one else has it but one fucking, mysterious unicorn out there. But yeah. I'm here but the UN.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess
and Laughing Octopus.
And Laughing,
well, that's what I meant, the mysterious unicorn. Like, because remember, they make it seem like no one was classic, like no one who's ever faced Liquid has survived kind of thing,
Yeah. But yeah, so we find out that Liquid kind of already has seized SOP to a certain degree. So he's already on his way to what does he say his plan is to just to seize control, right? Not to take out the AI.
Oh man, I don't even know anymore.
His original plan was to I think to seize control, to turn it off, but then it changes once he finds out he can now control because of Act 2.
Yeah, he wanted to destroy JD to send the world back to a state of where soldiers, again, kind of like a big the boss kind of thing, right? Like where there's just chaos. There's just soldiers are held more valuable, maybe, right? Something like that.
I don't know. See, this is what fucking confuses me, because by the end of it, he says, "This is exactly what I wanted," and it's like, then why were you trying to fucking stop me at every turn?
Yeah,
it definitely does get very blurry in terms of the whole, especially when we beat the game, we find out that Liquid was acting, the whole time.
Yeah, he's self-hypnotizing himself to fool the Patriot AI.
The Patriots and the world technically as well, right?
Right.
Because we fucking bought it, right? Hook, line, and sinker. But it at least in Metal Gear Solid 2, you knew when it was Ocelot and you knew when it was Liquid.
It was always Ocelot.
It was, well, okay, again. When you knew when one was supposedly talking, because you get my arm, and it's like, here, brother,
Brother!
Yeah. And in this one, you do get a couple brother speeches, but then there's a couple times where is Ocelot talking right now? Or it's fucking what the fuck? Even though it technically should have been Ocelot Liquid the whole time, technically, because I don't know. It gets very, very confusing.
That's what's supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be communicated to us, is that this is now Liquid taking over Ocelot's body.
Fully taken over. Yeah.
Supposedly, that's what we're supposed to be believing this whole time. But yeah, we I guess we should mention that Johnny is not affected by this. Blah blah blah.
Because he's afraid of needles, and that's it.
It's ridiculous. He's the dumbest character arc of all time. But yeah, I guess
though. I loved it.
But then we're
with afterwards and going to the military. I'm like, the fact that you were him dodging the shots, needles, that's hilarious, because of the lengths he would have had to go to do this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At basic, even going through, it's I walked forward, got shots in both arms, another step forward, another shot in the arm.
Oh damn!
Walk forward, another shot. Walk forward, turn around, shot in the butt.
Yeah,
that was at one time. I got 7 shots, and in the span of 5 minutes.
Jesus. But yeah, I guess we are then told to go find Naomi by her. That she's in South America, and she tells you pretty much that you got 6 months to live, pretty much, and that you're a walking fucking biohazard. It's going to take out the world with the old mutated fox dye. Also, by this point, you've been injected twice again already. Once by Durbin and again by Naomi. So how could there be anything new in your system? Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, you rescue her. She uses you guys basically to what again? To
get to your DNA. So because that was another shot at hacking into the SOP. Because at the end of Act 2, they try again to hack the SOP.
Right, but I'm talking about when you take her back to the Nomad.
Oh yeah, she was trying to get close to Dr. Otacon there, the good doctor, as she puts it, and then turns to Sunny.
Right, but what was she there for again? I don't remember.
Again, I think just
she was after that information that Otacon had. I can't remember what it was.
That's what I'm saying. What was she after?
Because when she just trying to plug that
She's trying to plug like a USB.
necklace.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
What was she trying to get?
It really makes it really again. It I don't even really understand because like she maybe she was trying to get Emma's worm cluster the whole time. I don't. Who knows? Honestly, Naomi is definitely a character that I just kind of get irritated by as well.
They played us like a damn fiddle.
Either way, she sleeps with Otacon to get some info out of him, and then we play our favorite our favorite act that actually has the most amount of sneaking, but it's the least amount of Metal Gear sneaking ever.
Yeah.
Where we're supposed to rendezvous with somebody named Big Mama, and it turns out to be Eva. And when you were saying, Chris, that you kind of wish that there was like at least some like flashback or images or something in the Big Boss conversation, I was going to mention this. This does show that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like some images of the old games and whatever and whatnot. At least that, some kind of visual.
Yeah.
So this is when we first hear about the Zero Big Boss Fallout thing, and that she's technically your mother because she carried you and Liquid. She's the surrogate mother, but the DNA comes from both Naked Snake and some Japanese chick, right? If I'm not mistaken.
More or
Right.
less,
and
yeah.
then Liquid is supposed to have the more dominant genes.
Right, even though he believed, because I guess Big Boss had told him he was the inferior one. That we
Was
learned
it
that
Big
from
Boss,
MGS1.
or was it like the Patriots? I always thought it was the Patriots told him he was the inferior one.
He says it in
Or
MGS1.
Zero. Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, he tells him, he always told me I was inferior.
Yeah. Which I wondered why about. Like after I found out he was the superior one, why? Like it would make sense if it was the other. Well, no, it wouldn't even make
To
sense.
make him try
then.
harder? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
as a way for
I-
Liquid,
Well, you
maybe
have
as a
to
way
give-
to keep him like in check. Because if he knew he was superior one, maybe he'd be like, okay, well, I can do anything I want then and take over the world. I don't know. Who knows? Honestly, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Why you would maybe as an experiment just to see what somebody would do, believing the whole time they're quote unquote worthless. See what he would make out of it.
But-
it'd be thinking of like if someone had some crazy like inherent talent in a sport or something like that, and they were told that they were just worse, then they would put in the work that much harder to match someone that had more talent, even though they really do have the talent.
They already have the talent.
I think it depends on how that person reacts, though, because I think
Exactly.
the same
100%.
situation could lead to
Right, it
the
doesn't always
opposite
work.
extreme, and they give up entirely.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I guess they
could've-
didn't have anything to lose. Basically, they're like, well, we made these motherfuckers. Either we break them in and turn them into super soldiers, or they break and they're
Yeah.
useless and we get rid of them.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Because again, like they could have easily kept these clones and then not made them war machines in any way, shape, or form. They could have told them like, "Hey, you guys were created to do math problems or something like that," you know. And yeah, they would still have the dominant soldier genes. Yeah, but they would be like, "Oh, I'm just a good mathematician, I guess," you know.
Right. Yeah.
But think how differently the Metal Gear series would have been if Liquid didn't think he was if
sure.
Liquid didn't.
Oh, I thought you
try
were
to
going to say if
fight.
it was an educational game
Yeah.
about math. Math.
If Liquid didn't fight to try to be superior or fight Snake or fight for the whatever you want to call it, you know, how different it would have been, because Snake would have, well, would there have been a Metal Gear in MGS1 at that point? I don't think so, right?
Would there have been a Metal Gear?
In MGS1, yeah. If Liquid wasn't,
Well, Otacon was the one who made it.
For the Pentagon, or
right, but like, would it have been a threat? I guess, yeah. Ocelot was still there too. He was
Well,
still-
the
he was
government, the government were, yeah, they were the ones making Metal Gear
they commissioned it, yeah.
as a nuclear weapon, and they didn't tell Otacon.
And then, and remember, this was an uprising in Metal Gear Solid 1. Snake, Liquid, and the Fox unit wasn't there to protect Metal Gear. Like they took over the base.
Well, no, but they were there. They were there to protect Metal Gear.
Yes, they were, but then they took it over, being
Right.
the threat. Then
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Then they just they did what Liquid did in 2. They took it back for the Patriots. Basically, is what they're doing. They're like we're gonna take this fucking Metal Gear. We're gonna use it instead of the government.
So I guess in that case, it would have been Metal Gear 2 that would have been Metal Gear Solid 2 would have been different. Not so much Metal Gear Solid 1. Does that make
guess
sense?
Well, I don't know if they would have turned I don't know if Foxhound would have turned against the government. Actually, yes, because as far as my understanding, it was Ocelot that helped stage all this. Like you were saying, Chris, you mentioned that because it's like because Solidus was kind of behind the whole events of MGS1 also.
So Liquid really played almost no part in this.
He was kind of a puppet.
Yeah, honestly, he was kind of a puppet. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go.
I more of a pawn. I kind of
yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
he was very expendable. Like they lost him, and it didn't really affect much.
Nope. And that's
so
what
it's interesting to think of that way now. Huh.
Yeah. White now.
White now.
White now.
It is a bummer because like you said, he's so cool in Metal Gear Solid 1. You're like, dude, Liquid's awesome. And in Metal Gear Solid 2, you're like, oh shit, he's still alive, possessing Ocelot. Ocelot, yes. Damn, that took him a minute.
Ocelcon.
Ocelcon. And then in 4, you're like, oh man, he's taken over and he's trying to blow up. And then it's like, nah, he's been gone. He's been gone since the second he died. Like he's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because he was told his entire life he was a piece of shit, even though he was the better soldier, and he died believing he was a piece of shit. It's fucked up.
Well, he was used like a piece of shit too. He was a pawn.
Yeah,
he was the whole purpose of a pawn is to be expendable.
Right.
It's you mean nothing. You are here to block me. You are here to block anything that tries to come towards me. You are just my shield at that point. You're just a meat shield, essentially, if we're getting down to it. So
I never actually even thought about that till you brought. That's a good fucking point, Chris. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Especially when I started this episode going like, I miss that awesome villainous Liquid Snake. And now I'm like, man, he was a fucking nobody.
Yeah.
Well, nobody in the grand scheme.
In the bigger picture, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know about half of the shit that was going on. With that said, like Solidus is also a pawn himself because he's also like being every time something isn't going in the way the Patriots want it to go, it's like, well, send in fucking Solid Snake, he'll get it done,
Yeah. Send in one of our many snakes. Crazy.
Yeah.
This kind of blew my mind. So Eva gives us all this exposition in a much better fashion than Big Boss did.
Yeah.
And then we get fooled by 3 children in a trench coat. And Eva gets impaled again. I really wish Snake was like, I need you. Oh no, did he say that?
I don't think he did, no.
No, I think he just says like, don't die or some shit like that.
No, yeah, he doesn't. But I wish he did. I wish he did like, I need you. Just to get that flashback again.
No, dude, I need you. Huh? I can't drive this motorcycle by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so funny. It's just like, I can't fly the wake without you. But yeah, then we run into Liquid, who can CQC fucking anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say Liquid?
Yeah.
Okay. Quote unquote Liquid. So now that we're thinking about that, so since this isn't really Liquid, did Ocelot make himself believe that he was better at CQC? That he was just as good as Liquid with CQC? Where did Ocelot learn CQC?
True, yeah. Huh.
Well, at the end
Ocelot just learned CQC from
Big Boss.
The boss.
Big Boss.
Big Boss. Yeah.
Well, he did pick up some CQC.
When the fuck did they hang out? Because we don't see Ocelot in Portable Ops.
Well, we don't. No, we don't. Well, we do see him only in the little cutscenes. But remember, he says
again that we wanted.
Yeah, he says, I want him to be one of us, right? So he's talking to
at the end,
Zero at this point. And then we do get the exposition that the original members were him, Zero, Big Boss, Eva. So like they hung out, and we know from 1972 Les Fontaines was 1972. We don't see it, but they hung out. They had to have hung out because he respected him at the end of 3. So,
I guess he idolized him too. So I guess
absolutely idolized.
That does make sense.
So at the end of 3, he knows a little bit. Remember, he does a few CQC moves, and he goes, "I picked up a few moves along the way, or whatever." And I always wondered. I always thought it was like he learned it from the boss. But I would argue that, or I guess it could be argued that he learned it just from getting his ass beat by the boss and by Big Boss. Being like, okay, I now know what to do when I get held in this position. Just, reverse it like this or whatever, So maybe he's the greatest soldier to ever live, actually. Who knows?
Hey, another reason to like
CCC
Ocelot.
yeah, dude, I love Ocelot.
But yeah, he explains his whole plan here that he now has control.
Yep, because
He
Big
has
Boss's
seized
DNA.
SOP. Yeah, he's got Big Boss's DNA. We see this body that is missing the left eye, Chris. So we know that it's not actually Big Boss. But yeah, this actually is one of my favorite. The beginning part is long winded, but this part is always so fucking cool when he's just like bang, bang, and the fucking helicopters fall out of the sky because it's like imagine just being that fucking cocky and confident and arrogant to just know this is how much control I have is that I could just think it.
Yeah.
And that fucking, I didn't have to point at it and go bang. All I had to do was think it, but I just want to show you what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that was a great villainous scene.
Oh yeah, that whole thing with the boats and everything was top tier.
Yeah, I really like that scene. And then they set the quote unquote Big Boss body on fire. Eva decides she wants to join him.
Mm-hmm.
Question: wouldn't she know that's not Big Boss?
That's what I wondered about when it was revealed that wasn't him, because Big Boss specifically said that Eva knew about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he says that.
So
just committed to her mission, which was to fool everybody.
Like the boss.
But at that point, Ocelot also knew about that wasn't him, didn't he?
Well, he's not Ocelot. Remember,
I mean, she would know that he knew that, but like, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like you say, Noise, it doesn't quite add up. It doesn't quite make sense. It does at the time, but then you learn things later, and it's like, what? Did you just pull a Akira Toriyama?
Yeah, it's like someone had to like wave it away. Like don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's just it was selling the act or selling that information to everyone who's watching, meaning the Patriots, that they got Big Boss's body and it was destroyed. And even though Eva knew, she committed to this act. And again, you're right, very stupidly flings herself in the fire and then dies afterwards. Liquid or Ocelot knows, but he's pretending to be Liquid, who doesn't know. So that's why he's like, "Oh yeah, this is Big Boss's body," even though it's not.
He's not pretending. He's
he believes that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So he believes that he is Liquid, and Liquid doesn't know. So therefore, he doesn't know.
I just think Kojima forgot.
That's kind of what I
as he was making the game.
Yeah, the point you guys were making with One Piece,
Tales
or whichever whatever anime. Doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. Yeah, you just forgot.
No, Oda is very good at remembering. That's One Piece.
Okay.
Akira Toriyama is the forgetful one. Okay. Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and that's how retcons happen. Someone points it out and they go, "Oh shit, we need to fix that. We forgot." So I think in the same game, he just forgot, to be honest. But it could be explained that way. To give it meaning, it could be that she just committed as hard as the boss and completed her mission. But also, what does that accomplish? Her dying.
I was always under the impression, and I'm probably super wrong because I didn't get that same feeling this time. I was always under the impression that they had to die in order for Big Boss to awake, but I don't think that was true at all.
No, he specifically said that for him to come awake, they had to destroy the AIs. Nobody had to die,
right? Because otherwise,
it was the AI that was keeping them suppressed. Yeah,
right. Zero would also have to die.
Yeah. No, I was saying back in the day, I think that's what the impression I was under. I was like, okay. She, but then like that's why I'm like after replaying it right now, I was like, yeah, I didn't get that same impression this time. So again, it must have been just maybe she also knew like, hey, like even if I survive, like he's gonna die again or something. So what's the point? Who knows? Honestly, I think it was probably definitely a way of saying like, here's Eva, here's what she did. And then she's dead. She's gone. It was probably just
we have no more use for Eva.
Exactly. It was probly just that. It was like, hey, you guys were wondering what happened to her after Metal Gear Solid 3? Here she is.
Does that mean we should do that with Rose?
Dude, I don't even want to tell you what else she does.
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
Rose?
Yeah. Oh, think we're done with her?
There's more games, Chris.
He's already crying.
I could picture that face, the new emote for your stream.
Oh man. No, my initial thought that I got with her, throwing herself on the fire and everything was the whole Romeo and Juliet thing of, if you're gonna die, it's not worth me living, But then it wasn't that, because she knew it wasn't him. So even if she, I don't know, even if it was she was playing to the part,
Eva, if
for her, Eva, for her to go through to that extent to play that part still doesn't make sense to me.
No, you're right. She should have just died from being stabbed, and that's fucking it. Just bled to death. Like, why did she throw herself in the fire? That was really unneeded.
Extra.
But it's not even that. It's not even that that should have been what killed her. It's like you have to have a lot of willpower to throw yourself onto fire.
Oh,
yeah.
Right? Think about it, okay? You
even stuntmen are scared.
Everything in your body is telling you to stay away. Even if you manage to do it, your body's like, get out of this now.
Yep. Your body would say, get the fuck out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the amount of willpower you have to be in that situation is phenomenal. And to do it as an act,
like that monk who set himself on fire back in the 90s.
But was that just an act?
No.
Yeah, if he was doing it for a reason, that's one thing,
Well, he was protesting.
Right, yeah, but that's a reason.
Yeah,
he's not acting like he's protesting.
Right,
he's actually protesting.
No, I'm just emphasizing your willpower.
Okay. Yeah.
But that would take.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It would have made more sense if she tried to drown herself or something like that. Or like you said, just let herself die from blood loss or something. Just, there's a part of me that could fight to keep myself alive, but I'm just going to give up. That's one thing,
Or maybe she got hit by a stray bullet and fell into the fire. Right? Something like that.
Yeah, German. Is that what happened?
I don't know. Maybe the sorrow pushed her.
Did somebody shoot a phantom gun?
The sorrow,
the knife that was
shot a knife out of the air.
Time and space and hit
not
her.
The knife,
and then the hilt of the knife hit Eva in the fucking head.
It was the bullet that ricocheted off the knife. Caused the butterfly effect that then caused her to slip on a pebble. Yeah, there you go.
She slipped on a pebble on the boat.
Okay, Kojima, we need to make a game of this whole butterfly effect that happens
after the
between the knife getting shot.
The story of the bullet. But it does it in the style of that Raiden traveling through time. The paradox, but it's just the bullet going through time.
Yeah. Oh man. Not even Kojima, actually. We need just someone do that as your own personal thing.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, the more we dissect it, the more ridiculous it becomes that she did that.
Yeah. It doesn't make any. I was even thinking at the time, the whole Romeo and Juliet thing, that was too much. Even then, it didn't really make sense to me. Why is she just killing herself? She's not useless. She can still do stuff.
Yeah.
I understand she lost the, quote unquote love of her life or whatever, something she's been trying to protect for a very long time. I understand it's precious to her, but it doesn't make sense to just off yourself immediately after that, I get there's going to be strong feelings and everything like that. But again, throwing yourself in fire is not an easy thing to do.
And you know what I used to think, I'm just remembering what I used to think that it was that Solidus was also her son.
Mm-hmm. I think you might have mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I used to think. But Solidus is not her son because he was created after in the perfect image of Big Boss, the perfect clone, which is why he's an exact DNA replica of Big Boss. That's why they could use his body instead of Big Boss's body. But that's what I used to think, because I used to think there was a triplet that we didn't know about, but it was no, he was just another son of Big Boss with whoever was his mother, and whoever was that surrogate and whatever. But yeah,
so were they half step brothers?
Full step brothers. But yeah, we know that that's not the case. So she wouldn't have loved Solidus the way she loves Liquid and
Yeah, no, very true.
Yeah.
Solid. But yeah. Anyways, so Meryl almost drowns. We find out Johnny's super hot, and Snake burns his face.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which, as German pointed out, you can see it in the menu of the game if you look close enough, because that's actually the ending of the game at the cemetery.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I kind of forgot about South America, where Raiden comes in to help us and gets pretty much mutilated by Vamp, and now Raiden's all fucked up and wants to come along for the trip, but Sonny says no. You forgot to mention me in the synopsis noise. I'm also here. You're right, Sonny. German hates you and doesn't want to talk about you at all.
No.
But yeah, I guess we're sent to Shadow Moses because it seems that quote unquote Liquid is going to use Rex's railgun to fire off the nuke at JD so that he can seize GW again, whatever, whatnot, and stuff. And we get the best part of the game, which is just a nostalgia trip without any soldiers, just pure fucking robots, annoying
Except for
robots.
the boss fight.
I don't even know if he's human.
Who?
He's Vamp
No, I meant the frogs. Those are the only humans.
in Shadow Moses.
Yeah, the sniper wolf fight.
Oh shit!
We complained about them so
Oh
much.
yeah.
We hate them.
I was like,
Fuck, man.
what frogs?
I forgot. There's 3 goddamn bosses in this spot. Yes, that's right. The frogs. Yeah, I haven't even mentioned the boss fights because we know my stance on the boss fights. They're irrelevant. They're just in your way. They're bigger pawns than Liquid, really. But yeah, the frogs. I forgot.
I hated that sniper wolf fight.
That is the
Not
worst part of that
Sniper
fight.
Crying wolf. Sorry.
Yeah. Other than that, like I really like that fight. It's just the frogs. You just get in the way. But yeah, we managed to off Vamp through the magic of nanomachines. As we've learned, nanomachines are the answer to everything. If you can't explain something, nanomachines.
Yep.
Why did Eva throw
like-
herself into the
just like-
fire? Nanomachines.
Just like midichlorians.
Exactly. Thanks, George Lucas. Nanomachines. And Naomi kills herself. Whoop-de-doo. We didn't care either.
Yeah. I got there was no point of that I felt sorry or any sort of emotion towards her at all. It's like,
Nope.
no,
Nope.
you've double crossed us twice in the same game.
Yeah.
Let alone Metal Gear Solid 1, you know. In this game,
the
you've double
original
crossed us
betrayal.
twice. I just-
Yeah.
And then Otacon with his immediate attachment to people.
Yeah.
That's another thing I don't understand.
His stepmom fucked him up, dude.
I guess so. Yeah, it's gotta
Yeah,
be.
do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, it's
I don't know how that affects a teenager.
yeah.
You know, it's that sexual abuse affects people in such different ways at any stage in their life. So
Yeah.
it's got to be
That's-
something with that.
That's true. It could be he went the opposite way and I'm going to make immediate emotional attachments to people because I was emotionally manipulated, and so I'm going to stick to them faster because that's how some people react to that.
Yeah, like the exact opposite of how they should react to any
Yeah.
toxic
Instead of
relationship or anything
closing
like that.
people off, it's he becomes emotionally bare. It's
like
he's stripped
maybe this one will
himself
be
of-
different.
Yeah, he's stripped himself of any walls or protection, and because whether he thinks that it's not worth protecting because it's going to go wrong anyway, or what going through his mind. But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I hadn't thought about that. Dang.
Just giving you a second to reflect on that.
A moment of silence.
No.
For Otacon's psyche.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
that's
guys
pretty fucked
know
up.
you can recover psyche during those cutscenes by pushing X.
Oh yeah, when when they go down.
Yeah, when they're like, "You're old, Jew."
Oh.
Yeah, if
I
you
did not know
fucking tap
that.
X a bunch, you'll recover most of it, or sometimes all of
Yeah,
it.
You can just hold it.
Yeah, it's really easy to recover. We did mention it how like those little scenes are kind of useless because then when
It just comes up later on sometimes.
Yeah, once the cutscene's over, you can just lay down on the ground and it'll get it right back. Like, all right, cool.
In the
You know?
shade, not in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. In the shade.
But yeah, then you have a fight with Ray while you're in the Rex, which
Yeah.
is just insane fan service.
Oof.
Pretty epic.
So awesome though.
And then they squash Raiden like a bug. and spry ass fucking quote unquote liquid runs off like a little child. You can't catch me.
I would love to see that. This also made the whole like tripping and doing the Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and then what happens? Oh, Mei Ling is the one that kind of
Intervenes, yeah.
Yeah, intervenes and scares Liquid away. And then and then we're sent to take on the new Outer Haven. Well, not new, but I guess Outer Haven, which is now the new name for. Is this? It's not Arsenal, right? It's just a U-boat.
Yeah, it's just a whole
version
ship,
of Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's a version of Arsenal. That's what I thought. I was like, I feel like it's
like
supposed
Arsenal
to be
2.0, but
okay. That has the Mount Rushmore of snakes.
Yeah.
Why would it have Old Snake on there? It's so weird.
Well, again, like, yeah, you said you looked it up on Wiki or something, and it was all like, oh yeah, the ship has like Octo Camo 2 or some shit like that, and it was like, what the fuck? Like, then who told it to camouflage 4 fucking faces on it? You know, always weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what I read in the wiki is weird. But yeah, then we encounter an old friend, Psycho Mantis, and if you have the DualShock 3, you get what Chris got. He actually rumbles your controller again. If you don't, he says something completely different, but I don't remember what it is. Because I don't know if you knew that, Chris, the PS3 did not come with a DualShock controller. It just came with a 6-axis. It did not have rumble, which was a huge fucking complaint from people when the PS3 came out.
From day one, people were like, what the fuck? No rumble?
The controller was so much lighter.
Dude, it was super light.
it felt, it definitely felt like a third party because it was so fucking light.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the PS3 that had released for like $700?
Yep.
And then like a month later was like half the price or something?
No, it took a couple
or
years.
Considerably cheaper?
It took a couple, I think maybe 2 years for the price to go down.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was like $700 fucking dollars for like 20 gigs.
Probably
20 or 40 gigs or something, like no storage. Because when you think about it, if you had bought this game digitally, it's a quarter of your storage right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, you wouldn't even be able to install it.
No, that's 20.
No. Yeah.
I was thinking I was doing math wrong. Yeah, you would need like the 80 gig model, which I think that one was like, oh, you know what? It was 600, and then there was the 700 model that came with like 80 or something gigs.
Something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's your whole fucking hard drive.
One game.
And you had to install the damn thing in pieces, thankfully. I think that's why they didn't allow you to install the whole thing, German.
Oh.
I think you had to install it in acts before the patch.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Because originally the hard drive that was in the PS3 that I gave to Chris, that one was only, what was it? Because it's the Slim 2. So I think it had like 60 gigs or something. And it did install the whole game, but then like it wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm going to swap this out. So I just put is it 120? I think now 120. Is it 120 gigabyte SSD that I put in there or something that I just had laying around? But yeah, makes a fucking difference on the load times, I'm sure. Yeah. Who was it? AJ was saying, like, I've never seen fucking MGS3 load that quickly.
Yeah.
You're cheating. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna make fucking Chris wait for these load times. They're crazy. They're nuts. But yeah, I mean, we get onto Arsenal 2.0 and
this is where I think all unanimously agree that it's also Act 5 is so short in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
It's literally like, if you're trying to sneak and do big boss ranking, whatever, it's pretty tough and difficult. But if you're like, I don't really give a fuck, you can just like run through all the geckos and frogs and blast them all and then not be in alert status, right, Chris, to trigger the elevator. And then you do a boss fight, and that's fucking it.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then the
you get to run down a couple hallways.
Yeah, a couple hallways, and that's it. But then
the rest of the hallways, because it does. You run down a couple yourself, and then it's like one or two. It does the running for you, and it's like, then why did I run before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like there was no point. Oh, because there was bosses there. Yeah, but you didn't have to put them there, or there were enemies there. You didn't have to put them there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why?
Yeah. So yeah, during all this, we find out Raiden is somehow alive. Meryl and Johnny fall in love. So I guess love can bloom on the battlefield. Hey,
yeah, there you go. Silicon, Otacon.
Silicon.
We answered an age-old question, Otacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get fucking microwaved, and somehow your head is still okay, which is the most vulnerable part of your body, but whatever. And Otacon could have just done this on his own because he was the Mark III up by your side the whole time.
And that's what he does in the end anyway. So, yeah.
But we did. Oh, yeah. Well, we did say, because we don't know what's on the other side of that door. It could have been soldiers or stuff like that. Then we argued the camo, but you can't go camo whenever he's doing stuff for some reason. So, just again, Snake had to be there.
Right. But again, Snake went in this knowing it's a suicide mission.
Yeah.
And that nobody else was going to be able to survive. So if Snake hadn't survived, what were they going to do?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They would have been fucked. He would have been fucked because then all the what the fuck were they called? The Scarabs would have not let Otacon upload the virus.
I guess.
But even if he, he could have gone into camouflage mode or whatever, So I don't think it's a point. I don't think it's a thing of him getting past the enemies. I think it's a badly written exposition that we have to have Snake do this because he's the only one that can, and he's the only one that has nothing left to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But then Snake gets through and he doesn't do it.
I feel if they would have tied it to his DNA, maybe that would have convinced me that he didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
maybe they could have just said that someone there was a
or if they gave him another Palki that he had to go in there, put it in, get out, cook it in the microwave, and then go back in there, do it, go outside, get it wet in the freezing cold ocean, and then bring it back in.
You know what it was? We forgot, man. There was a catch. What's it called? A Ketchupka? I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Otacon couldn't do it. He's a robot. The Mark II wouldn't be able to push that button. Snake had to physically.
Are you a robot? And you'd be like, "Fuck, we're fucked." Yeah. Well, yeah. So they shut down the whole thing, and yes, then we get carried to the top of Arsenal, and
somehow,
right? Yeah, there was a secret exit, as German loves to point out. There's always a secret exit somewhere.
Secret exit.
And quote unquote Liquid reveals that he's not Liquid, that he's just been fucking Ocelot this whole time, and this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted to take out the AI so that he doesn't explain the big box thing here, obviously, because we find that out later. But yeah, that he wanted to take out the whole thing, and the only way to do it was to fool the Patriots AI, and that he wanted it. Why does he want to fight you here? What's the point?
Yes.
To die. That's what I'm saying. That's why for some reason I was
everyone in this fucking game wants to die. Solacing wants to die. Raiden wants to die. Eva wants to die. Fucking Naomi wants to die. Vamp wants to die. Fucking who else? Jesus Christ! This was just as a bunch of just depressed ass people. Big Boss wants to die at the end. I'm sure Zero wants to die. He's just fucking stuck there shitting his pants.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why for some reason I was under the impression that they had to die. Again, I probably am wrong, but why die again? Maybe just as atonement too for fucking letting what's his name Zero do everything he did. Yeah, maybe it's just pay for our sins kind of thing. They all Naomi was trying to pay for her sins and bullshit.
Yeah, but she sucks.
Yeah, I know. She the only one that I guess was trying to die for a different mode was Vamp, because he was
he literally was I really want to die.
Yeah, because he was made quote unquote immortal, possibly against his fucking will. So he's I just want to fucking die. Who can kill me?
He's like Wolverine, right? He's just I've been around too long. I've been stabbed, shot. He's more like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day.
Nah, but I love that movie.
He's just please somebody just make it stop.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, these two old geezers fight each other just for shits and giggles, apparently. And isn't it Foxeye that kills him again, according to Big Boss later?
According to Big Boss, yeah.
Okay, so that's what kills.
So twice now.
The Quatzalotl is the new version of Foxeye or whatever, because it wasn't the old one, right? The old one's already mutated to do. I don't know.
Then the new one was destroying the old one or something. I can't remember how that one.
Suppressing the old one.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, then we get our first Return of the King ending, where Frodo wakes up in bed and everyone comes in and Legolas is there and he's like, who the fuck is that guy? Was he with us the whole time?
Well, he knows of him. He just doesn't know his name.
I
Did
do
it-
think it's
Did
funny.
he even
theory.
know he was with him though? For the whole thing?
Yeah.
Do you think he
Yeah, well,
acknowledged him?
because in the beginning, in the fellowship, he says, "You have my bow."
Yeah.
Right, but
So
do they
he
ever
knows he's-
interact on the quest?
Probably
No, but
not.
most of them don't.
Do they ever talk to each
Um,
other?
He knows
I-
Gimli.
No,
He talks to Gimli, I think.
I honestly don't know enough of those, so I don't want to quote.
It's the
But I do
only
think
one
it's-
who
I
walks
do-
in that he doesn't react to or that he doesn't know the name is Legolas.
Aragos?
I
Aragos.
think it's funny. Aerolas. I do think it's funny that like he wakes up in bed after this, draining adventure after the ring was literally trying to fucking, take over and he's waking up and then who are the two that assholes that jump on his bed?
Merry and Pippin.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Those guys, they just jumping on. I was like, dude, get the fuck off, man. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's funny because
Yeah,
like,
he's got to have like 3rd-degree burns and shit
Yeah,
on his body.
just
His
the
fingers
fatigue
fucking missing.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
yeah. They're just jumping on the bed like, hey, buddy. We're like, dude, get the fuck off.
Yeah, like, dude, fuck. What if he had morning
Ye-
wood? He just woke up. You don't jump on a dude in the morning.
They
You know
snapped
what
it.
bugs me the most, though, and this happens before that, is when Gollum has the ring and they fall into the lava and everything in Mount Doom,
Mhm, mhm.
and Gollum sinks. That's not how that would work.
No.
Would he not sink?
No,
Would he be on top of the
What
lava?
is-
Lava's
what
way
is
more
lava?
dense.
Oh, I guess it'd be super dense.
it's liquid rock. Yeah, it has the same density as rock, so he would sit on top. He would burn.
Yeah.
It would be very uncomfortable, but he would. Ironically,
I like it. You had to
What
point out it'd be
didn't
very
happen-
uncomfortable.
the ring would have sank, and it didn't, because the ring would have been more dense than the rock.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it didn't sink.
But the thing is, since it's liquid, Golem is he weighs more than it right now.
No,
It's like
it doesn't.
No.
It's the rock is more dense than the human body.
It's
Hmm.
like liquid mercury.
no, but that's
it's
no.
still more dense than putting I can't think of another metal on top of it. It would
Are you
float.
saying if there was a pool of mercury, you could walk on it?
That's a good
Yeah.
question. Neil deGrasse, where are you?
See, the thing is surface tension too is what I'm thinking of, right? Because like if it was a pool of liquid metal and you
Mhm.
stood somewhere, the surface tension would break because you're not spread out evenly over it, right? Am I making sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
but
you are,
again,
yeah.
this is liquid
it-
rock.
Right, but Golem didn't just like walk onto it. He fell like
Yeah,
100 or so feet, so he broke the tension. I
But
would
then you
I
probably
don't
float. to the
I
top.
wouldn't say he's exactly sinking, but also like burning from the bottom up. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like melting away or some shit. I don't know.
but it could be too like a non-Newtonian liquid or non-Newtonian. What do they call that? Non-Newtonian
Yeah, not Newtonian. You said right.
liquid.
Non-Newtonian.
Yeah, where if you hit it, it actually hardens.
Oh, okay. The
So-
the friction of
Yeah.
impact. The impact
Yeah.
would cause it to harden. Huh.
Exactly. Yeah. So, because like you think about quicksand too. If you fell into quicksand quickly, it would act as a solid before it started
Until
to
it
suck
started.
you under.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, we're answering all the important questions
It's an
here.
important question.
the stuff that has nothing to do with the game.
I know. Can I mention real quick, just as a side note? I was reading this thing that saw like, oh, what's things that you were worried about as a kid, and then like just nothing. None of
Quicksand.
it came. Yes, dude.
Mhm.
I
It
was
was
always like,
everywhere
oh
in
my
school.
God.
Why?
It was
Why?
everywhere because it was movies. Because it was in the fucking in the
In cartoons and in movies and shit. Like,
movies. Yeah, it was like, dude, be careful of quicksand. That shit will get you, man.
yeah, seriously. That
Oh man.
was a
And
real fear.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're real. Quicksand is real, but it's like, yeah, we don't have to worry about it. Like,
Well,
it
and-
doesn't.
And ironically, Mario teaches you the opposite thing. In Mario, you're supposed to jump and move around to get out of it. No,
Yeah, no shit.
you don't
Right.
do that. That's what pulls you under faster.
Or if you let yourself get sucked down by the quicksand, you find a secret area.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
the first one. Stage
That's
one.
what Mario taught me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stage 1 of World 8.
What? Oh, yeah. No, that's stage 2 with the sun.
Is it 2? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was
Right?
1 or 2.
Yeah, with the sun. But anyway, after that whole ceremony happens and fucking Aragorn is now the king of Gondor, there's a wedding in the back of the Nomad for some reason, even though after Meryl explicitly said she wanted a real fucking wedding with a bunch of fucking people there and all this shit, and instead all we get is the 3D models that were made for the game and some
And where's the
some
helicopter,
random
by
brown
the way?
boy, some random brown boy that walked up to the wedding. Oh yeah, where's the
Mowgli.
helicopter? Right, Mowgli.
I just remember that. Yeah, where's the helicopter during all this?
What helicopter?
The fucking
The one that was in the back of the plane the whole time.
Yeah, the one that's
Oh
in the
yeah.
Nomad.
Oh shit.
What
Shit,
helicopter?
the one they got busy in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The one with all the
Is
cum
that-
stains
is
in
that-
it.
maybe that's what Snake took to get away. Maybe
Oh,
that's
there you go. That's what it
Oh,
was.
you're right. Yeah,
just
because
dropped
otherwise,
out
how
of
did he fucking get
dropped
there?
out of the back of the helicopter. Or the
He just
air-
halo jumped. Just halo jumps into the cemetery. The
Dude, he
world,
does
the snake's last halo jump.
No, he does a Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator. What is it, like fucking Genesis? I'll be back, and just jumps out of the fucking plane or whatever.
Yeah. Or he tells someone to kick him off and say, "Get off my plane." That's a Harrison Ford Air Force One reference, if anyone's seen that movie. But yeah, then Durbin reveals that he's part of the Patriots because he's drunk now and now has less of a filter than he had before somehow.
Hmm.
And yeah, so he reveals that to Otacon. Otacon feels butthurt yet again, like, oh, people keep betraying me. And we see that Meryl's the arm wrestling champion of the world. Sonny makes a new friend and gives away the Mark III like it's fucking like a fucking stick of gum.
Get another one at Best Buy on the way home or some shit.
Yeah. And then, we also find out that I guess Rat Patrol 1 was kind of also sent by the Patriots unknowingly. They didn't know.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Bacon?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say that knowing Sunny, she'll just make another one out of bamboo coconuts or something.
Yeah. What is she fucking, what is his name from Gilligan's
Gilligan?
Island?
Oh, yeah, the
Was it
professor?
Gilligan? Oh, the professor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just fucking make a ham radio with. Those poor people. They never got off the island, dude. They never got an ending. They're still there.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get the notion that Snake went off to go kill himself. And we see the scene where it's so uncomfortable watching him with the gun in his mouth.
Yeah.
Especially the sound design. I'll give the sound design in this game like a fucking S++. Like everything that makes any kind of sound, is like perfectly picked out. You know what I mean? The geckos mooing, the geckos shitting. By the way, you get to hear the splish splash of their diarrhea hit the ground.
Yep.
But yeah, hearing the gun in his mouth as he's like breathing is just fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's legit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real fucking uncomfortable. And I remember watching this the first time. I was like, please don't. Even though I was like, this is kind of the ending that you want for yourself, and it is the most heroic thing he can do to save humanity because he's going to spread something.
It's a biohazard. Yeah, he's going to be a biohazard.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want it to happen, but then the camera pans away and the fucking gunshot goes off, and then we get credits, and it was just like, fuck, like that was kind of crazy. Also, Raiden gets a happy ending. My bad.
Oh yeah,
that happened before all this. Anyway, but that was in the middle of the jumping on the bed scene. He was just
there you go.
He was off in the corner meeting his son. Whatever,
Little.
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
Oh my
Little
gosh.
Jackie?
Little Jack. My Jack.
Yeah, little Jackie.
Little Jack.
Oh, little Jack, I guess. Yeah,
Something like that.
as opposed to Big Jack.
Which is kind of weird though, because like he hated the name Jack the Ripper, right? So I was like, why you name your kid Jack then?
I know. What the fuck?
Well, he didn't. She did.
What an idiot.
I guess so.
So we get some credits and then a pre-spoiler piece of text that's like, this dude, what is it, Richard Doyle?
Richard Doyle.
Richard Doyle
yeah,
as Big Boss.
Yeah.
Which was like, dude, why did you do that? Like, just bring back the scene showing us that Snake hadn't shot himself, and then some voice we don't recognize starts talking to him. That would have been a great reveal.
Or even Richard Doyle and then a bunch of question marks.
Who is Richard Doyle? Has he voiced anybody else
I don't
know.
think so.
that we know?
I'll look him up right now. Keep going.
But yeah, and then it's just it's that 1 hour and a half that we've been complaining about actually for this whole episode of him revealing the whole thing with him and Zero, and actually also revealing to Snake that he's not exactly going to be a biohazard, really. Like he has longer than he believes, because I guess he also spoke to Naomi somehow, or Naomi left him a tape or something. I don't fucking know, dude.
Bro, Richard Doyle's
Nano
in Air Force
machines.
One.
He's in Air Force One.
Mm-hmm.
Connections, dude. Connections. That's what that's what Metal Gear is all about, man. It's about connections. So is Lost, by the way. But yeah, you get all that info dump. Yeah, so you can live as Naomi once.
Fury, by the way.
Huh?
He actually voiced the Fury in 3.
Oh,
did he?
shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Richard Doyle?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's cool. I was gonna say, I was like, he had to have voiced somebody else in Metal Gear. It's kind of weird to bring him in to just voice Big Boss for this. I mean, he got a lot of fucking dialogue. I'm sure he got paid well, but
He was also a voice in Portable Ops as well.
just like additional voices.
High official.
Okay.
High
Just
official.
additional voice. Yeah, I see it here too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he has contributed to Metal Gear before this. Nice, because that was kind of also like, who the fuck is this nobody that they brought in? But cool, he's the Fury. But yeah, he shows us Zero, who we haven't seen since Portable Ops or spoken to since Portable Ops, and yeah, we get all that story that they had a falling out a long ass time ago, and they caused this whole fucking shit to happen. You know, Big Boss also takes responsibility for it, not just Zero. That they kind of let each other get to this point and
Cast the world into chaos or something like that, right?
Yeah. And Big Boss pulls the plug on Zero, semi-ending the Patriots because Big Boss also has to die for the Patriots to end. It's kind of like the Terminator 2 thing.
Scene was also a bit was also a bit disturbing as well.
Oh,
When he
pulling the
kills
plug on
Zero?
someone? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an easy fucking thing to do, even if it's
No.
someone who you like haven't seen eye to eye with for a super long
Sure.
time.
Or even someone that needs to quote unquote go. It's still not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's in their will, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Exactly. Yeah.
like fucking do not let me live like this.
DNR. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked this to have been emotional for me and somber, but it's like I said, I think the game had burned me out by this point. Even my first time playing through that, I was just like, I don't even know who this guy is. Like it didn't click in my head that it was Major Zero, I think, the first time I played. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But yeah, I mean, I do feel for Big Boss and kind of Zero, but like Chris said, where is this story? Can we have this story somewhere?
Yeah.
So that maybe this scene is more impactful, right? Once we finally see all the shit that they went through. But yeah, who knows if we'll ever get that? Maybe there's a fucking novel out there that we just haven't found that tells us that story.
Yeah. Well, like I think I kind of link it to, you know, when we find out that the cyborg ninja is Gray Fox. The only reason that I really cared about that in the beginning was because I played Metal Gear for the MSX. If I hadn't, and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, if I hadn't played those, it would have been a very similar situation. Like, okay, who are you? What? I don't know you. This doesn't matter, you know. So I think had that not been an option, had we not played it that way, I don't know that would have had as much of an emotional impact on me as I don't know if it would have been as bad as this, but it probably would have been a lot closer to that than what it was because we got to meet Frank Yeager as one of our allies, and then we had to fight him, you know, in that room and with all the was it landmines everywhere or something?
Yeah.
And we killed him, and then he comes back, and we find out how he came back and everything. It's like, oh, that sucks. Like that's no way to live, you know. And he tells you that whole story, and it's just, well, you know, it. So I don't know. I think even if I hadn't played the MSX versions, it probably would have had more of an effect because, you know, it's a shorter story. It's yeah, we knew each other. We were once comrades. Then you had to beat me, you know, and the reason you had to beat me was because, you know, I can't go against Big Boss because even if he is doing wrong, I owe him my life, you know, and then to find out that, you know, he's been brought back and he's in the suit and not by his choice, you know, and he's going through all this pain and stuff and all the medicine and everything. They have to, like, he wants to die again. Another character, please end me because I don't want to suffer anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we don't get any of that with this Big Boss and Zero situation here. So
I think because that's the boat we were in, right? We experienced Gray Fox for the first time in Solid 1. But I think the story was conveyed better about what happened to Frank. Because it was through conversation instead of exposition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a conversation Snake has with Naomi multiple times throughout the game. Like little by little,
Yeah,
they
it's
talk
it's
about
hinted
Frank.
towards, yeah, because it's
Mhm.
like, oh well, tell me about your family. Well, I don't have any family, and then it's well, I did have someone
It's
who helped
natural.
me, and yeah,
Yeah,
it builds up over the story, like you said, yeah, instead of just here, we're just gonna dump all you on this at one time, and that's how it's gonna happen. So
yeah, yeah. I think it's like it teases you with information, piques your curiosity, so you want to know the next bit of information.
mhm.
So I think if all this was more well paced throughout the entire game, it probably would have made more of an impact. And I think that's what they were trying to do with Act 3, was to kind of pique our interest at the whole, like, what, Zero and Big Boss had a falling out, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Which I think it kind of did. And then I don't know, it just feels like it fell apart here in the end.
Yeah,
But at least we know that that's what happened. It
Mhm.
explains the Patriot AI, and then Big Boss dies from the new Fox die? Or is it the old Fox die? I don't know.
I think it's a new one. I think
Okay.
because it's the one that Drebin put in him, and he goes, "Damn Patriots, they did it again."
Okay.
So I would say it's a new one.
Okay. And then
yeah. I fully thought it was Snake again because like what they did with Metal Gear Solid 1, where he was the one that was killing everyone with the
Mhm.
Fox die. I fully thought that that's what was happening again.
No, that is what's going on. It was the
Oh,
Fox
okay.
die that's in Snake.
yeah,
yeah.
but the newer
Like,
one.
Yeah, the new one. By
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In fact,
Okay.
by showing up, like Big Boss sealed his fate. He could have just like phoned it in. He could have been like, "Hey, by the way, man, I'm still alive" or some shit.
Yeah. This is one of those occasions where a Codec Call would have actually
Made
benefited.
sense, yeah.
And then we get credits.
We get final credits. Yeah.
And then a little post credits where we hear Snake quit cigarettes, and
Finally, after
Yeah.
being told countless times to quit, and
I know, smoking his limp ass cigarette. You notice that, Chris? His cigarette's always limp.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
well aged, is what it is.
Right. Needs some. It's got ED.
Is it would be ET, erectile tobacco,
No, TD,
TD,
tobacco dysfunction.
Okay.
I don't
But,
know. I'm trying to figure out the wording in my brain. It's not working. But yeah, that's MGS4. Any other like questions that came up while we were just summarizing that, Chris? Does it?
No, just the one question that's always popped in my head during most of this game is why Rose?
I was gonna say, why?
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
Oh man.
I played through the game to get to that spot so I can get that soundbite.
I respect the hustle, but you really didn't have to put that much work into it.
Yes, I did. For all our benefits.
No, overall, this game is definitely top 5 for me. I don't know if it quite made top 3, but it's definitely top 5.
Okay.
So
Well, we know you're number 1, so
yeah, Twin Snakes.
Well, for the sake of time here, Noise, I want to know: are we doing the game show? Because I also did want to mention to Chris that about the proposed alternate ending for Metal Gear Solid 4. This wasn't the way the game was going to end
Oh,
originally.
okay, yeah.
Do you remember? Like I'm saying, what do you want? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do the game show? We can just talk about that later.
Is it gonna take a while for the alternate?
Well, it depends. You know what it is, right? The whole reason the "Here's to You" theme plays, music song plays.
I think I know this, but I don't remember. Go ahead.
So originally, this is what I read. This is what I know from all the Did You Know gaming videos and shit like that. Because I haven't asked Kojima himself, but
Out of all the times we've met with him.
Yeah, I know, right? Out of all the times we can go hang out at the sake bar. Originally,
He's such a drunk.
he wanted to end this game with Otacon and Ocelot being executed for their quote unquote crimes.
So Otacon and Ocelot?
God damn it. And this is not a joke. This is not a skit, you guys. Ugh, for anyone listening out there. God.
Yes, I did know about this. I forgot about that. Yes, Otacon and Snake being because
Snake.
of their crimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because remember, they're wanted men at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2. Not the end of Solid 2, at the end of the Tanker episode. Technically, even during the Tanker episode, they're wanted men. They're philanthropy or whatever. They're
ever since
exposing
they started
government secrets.
yeah.
Yeah, they're exposing government, black sites and all kinds of shit.
Mhm.
So originally, and the exact, what do you call it, conditions or whatever you want to call it, there aren't really specified, but they were supposed to be executed. They were supposed to be like executed, maybe in a way of saying like put the blame on them. So even though we as a player would know that it was actually Zero and Ocelot and Big Mama and all this shit, like they would take the blame for the public side. The public wouldn't know that it was all this AI doing shit. It was going to be blamed on them, and they were supposed to get executed. And supposedly, like his whole staff were like, if you fucking do this, like we're done, like we quit or some shit. They threatened to walk out of the game if he continued with that ending that he had in mind. And that's why that song "Here's to You" plays. Noise mentioned it, I believe, in your podcast, in your stream, that it was about two. You said it was about two communists. Like I don't know the full details, but it was two men that were executed. I remember. I think I remember reading that they were wrongfully executed, but
they were wrongfully executed. They were made an example of.
Exactly.
Basically.
Wasn't it like weren't they like arrested, tried, and executed like in ridiculous amount of time? Like
yeah,
it was like something like within like a month's time or something. I mean, I could look it up, I guess, right now in a minute. But the point is like that song "Here's to You." It says, "Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts."
The last and final moment is yours.
Moment is yours.
This agony is your triumph.
Yep. And so that we were supposed to get off the con and not Snake being killed, and then that theme would have played at some point at the end of it. Yeah, that was supposed to be the original ending. Did you know about that, Bacon?
He's dead.
Senor Bacon. I think it's funny that I was referred to him in Spanish, Senor Bacon.
Did Bacon fall asleep?
Possibly.
Bacon?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you hear German's question?
No, what was it?
Did you know about that? The supposed original ending from Metal Gear Solid 4 about Otacon and Snake being executed?
No.
Oh no, you didn't know that? Oh yeah, that was supposedly going to be it.
Yeah, and the "Here's to You" song that plays at the end was supposed to be that. So that's that. I guess that's Kojima's kind of way of saying like, here's the ending I wanted, with him putting the "Here's to You" song there at the end.
What if that was the ending? Like I want your honest opinion, Chris. Like, what did you think? And Noise, like, if that would have been the ending of them getting executed instead of having their happy ending, how would you feel?
I mean, it would make sense because the game has taught us about cover stories and shit like that, and they've kind of conditioned us to believe that that's probably what they would do. There's a cover story for the Tanker. There's a cover story for Shadow Moses. There's a cover story for what is it called in MGS3? The place where you're at?
God damn it.
Where they shot the Davy Crockett and shit.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the boss was the cover story.
And the boss was also, the boss was the cover story. Like this, each game is about cover stories, and this is the only one that's not.
Yeah, I think I would have felt better about that ending than the ending we did have, because again, at least you would have been able to die a hero's death. It would have sucked the way it happened. Like I may not have necessarily agreed with that immediately, but it would have been more acceptable, I think, than
it's more real.
Yeah, it's because again, the fact that Raiden and him live on is one of the most upsetting things to me about this game, next to Rose. It is one of the most upsetting things about this game is that they both lived. I think that was a missed opportunity for them to die as heroes or sacrifice themselves for their futures or the future of mankind or whatever we want to say, the future good of mankind, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big missed opportunity to have that happen.
I think I think you hit the nail on the head on this one too, because I personally think that's what a lot of people felt like. I think the whole community is like, yeah, man, that would have fucking sucked. But also that ending would have been kind of like just like them being executed would have been like so fitting, especially with the song that plays at the end too, like I said, I would hate for it to happen, but yeah, that would have made sense. Like, why not, and who knows, like, exactly if it was his team that said no or exactly why, because it would have been fine. Again, I would hate to see Snake die, but like, you're right. Him dying would have definitely been like, a nice send off, a very nice like send off to him as well. Again, his happy ending is nice, but him going out like that would have been also boss level, a sacrifice to finally bring peace or to qualm people's questions onto what the fuck went down, bring peace to their minds that the government fucking was betraying them, that the government was, doing all this crazy shit. Like, no, but it was them. They're the ones that caused all this shit,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I don't really know how long the quiz will take. So if it's going to go too late, we can just save it for the next episode.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Works for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool then. That ended on a downer.
Them being sacrificed. Well,
but I mean, it like you said, it would have been more fitting than what actually happened.
Yeah.
That's why to me, MGS4 is just a fever dream, dude.
it's just a fever dream.
Yeah. Everything really ended with 2, and 4 is just a fever dream.
Like even as much as I dislike Rose, even as much as I dislike
Do you know
her,
what day it is tomorrow?
if it was a situation where Raiden had died
Uh-huh.
and she was telling her son stories at the end,
Okay.
like, showing him a picture, and this is your father, and this is what he did to make sure the world was a better place.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better, so much more impactful, so much more appropriate than, Raiden, here's your kid you didn't know about because I faked his miscarriage. Doesn't that suck? Because miscarriages suck for those who go through it.
Well, not just that, but it's like, I saw that you're suffering because of it. I saw that you're freaking suicidal because of it, but I'm gonna still keep it a secret because the Patriots. I don't. Yeah, very weird.
Because she's Rose. Yeah.
So, question to you, Chris. I don't know if I did ask it last time. If they hadn't shown his eye do the Terminator, turn.
I don't even remember saying that, to be honest.
No, it does. If it was more that he gets, sent flying across, like a puppet,
like a pebble. Like it's just so much pressure that he just shot off.
I mean,
like a penny on a railroad track.
Even if you saw him, quote unquote, getting crushed, and now you see left arm breaks off and fucking right foot breaks off, skull cracks open or some shit like that, and he's bleeding, and he's just fucking sitting there like just bleeding out all his fucking milk, and we get
milking out all his blood.
Milking out his blood. We get a scene with Snake going like, Raiden, hold on, Raiden. And it's unconfirmed.
Wait there. Let me go get help.
It's unconfirmed if he's dead. Unconfirmed. Would that have still bothered you to see him still come back? Was it that fake out that just pisses you off?
Yes, I think to a lesser degree it would have bothered me.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it still would have bothered me some to a lesser degree. Just because at that point it's like you're not sure. You still have his body. Yeah, at that point it's like it's kind of plot armor that he's still living.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the robotics and everything. Like I get that he's mostly robot or cyborg or whatever. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like still, there's a point where you go from living to non-living. And at that point he shouldn't be Raiden. I don't know.
No, that's fine. That's just an honest question. Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, but it would have been to a lesser degree.
It would still piss you off, but not as much. Now, I think we did solve that potential what do you want to call it issue. There is that for all we know, Dr. Madnark just gave us a bunch of extra fucking robot pieces, so we were able to just rebuild them back on the Nomad or something.
I'm still curious. Is this can't be the same Dr. Madnark from Metal Gear 2, right? What the fuck?
I think I read it. It supposedly is intended to be, but it can't be because
he died.
Well, dude, how many people died and don't die?
Metal Gear 2, yeah, but it's also I don't know. Fucking.
I mean, Big Boss died twice and he's still alive. So
and Vamp has died, whatever, so many times. However many times Chris killed him.
Yeah.
That poor son of a bitch. He just wanted to die, Chris. You kept shooting him in the head.
I know.
Okie dokie. Well, I guess that does it for this one. So this actually is our 1 year anniversary. We're like 3 days away as of this recording.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of yeah, I know, right? It's been one fucking year. That's kind of wanted to do a quiz, but I don't want it to go on that too late. So we'll do it in the next episode.
We can make the quiz even bigger too.
I guess. I mean, you mean you don't want
one episode to doing a solid like just the quiz show?
No, I don't have enough content for that. No, I literally just like put this together before because I just remembered. I was like, oh shit, like fucking. I'm actually glad I did postpone because I didn't have anything ready. I was like, oh my god, I don't even have the quiz ready. I might have had to have done it as we were fucking recording, like I did last time.
Like I was like you did last time.
I was like, I gotta come up with these questions quick.
Okay. You're saying to 1 year. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to think a year ago. I was like, nah, we'll be done within a year. Like, nope, it's been a year and we're barely on 4.
Yeah. Once I was like, if we're gonna go, because I wanted to go, I was about to say deep and hard, but
Ooh.
ooh, yeah. Wanted to dive into these games, for other fans. I definitely didn't, because German and I know the shit, but also having these long conversations definitely brings it into a new light, and we think about things completely different. Like the whole holy shit, Liquid was really just a pawn in like a way bigger fucking chessboard. You know what I mean? Like, didn't really dawn on me till this conversation today. I was like, fuck, man, like he really was super used.
Super used. That's exactly the words I was going to use. Super, just fucking used. No, and like I said, it brings out a lot of conversations that like you might think make sense, and then as you start talking out loud, you're like, this makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah. Why would you jump in the fire? Makes no sense.
or like you say something like, this is stupid. Like, what the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah. I'm glad like we can definitely also pick apart our favorite series. No one harder than I did for sure in this last game, but
no one's harder than you. What the fuck?
No one picked. No, yeah. Right now, no one's as hard as me. No, nobody picked apart a Metal Gear game as hard as I did. At least for this last one.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer red noise. He's hard noise.
Hard noise. Yeah, I guess I didn't even go this hard at Twin Snakes.
What's funny is like even like I said, despite the fact that I've liked pretty much every single one of them, there are still things that I'm like, yeah, this was dumb, but like you know, like there's plenty of parts where like this was stupid, but like the fucking hamsters, no.
Hey, at least you remembered it's a hamster and not a gerbil this time.
I know. I have been saying hamster in my head for like the fucking last month because I know it's coming up again. I know you were gonna bring in hamster.
Those hamsters are to German as roses to me.
Well, no, I just hate. Well, yeah. I mean, I just that was I psyched myself out so hard, man.
The guy who gives him the info, that's who fucking.
That's true. Yeah,
is his rose. He's like, that fucking guy, and I'm like, that useful guy who told us how to get past 3 different parts of the game. What are you talking about? But yeah, it's mostly just I'm louder, hence the name noise. I'm just louder. It's not that the game is a piece of shit. It's just I'm louder about the negative parts. But yeah, I guess that'll do it for this one.
You're a lot about this one though. There's still ones coming.
Oh yeah, there's still there's still stuff. Actually,
Bacon, yes, I will also pick them apart. Maybe not as hard, but I will definitely pick apart the flaws because there's definite flaws coming up.
Oh yeah.
I won't deny that.
Actually, I do want to ask you, since we haven't really talked to you, like I hear physically with words.
Here physically with words.
Audible words. Yes, audible words. We haven't talked to you with audible words in a minute.
Jesus.
Up to now, where does this one fall in your ranking? Is it top 5 like Chris, or is it number 1, top 3?
It's top 3, but it would be number 3.
Okay.
It'd be for me. MGS2 is first.
Yeah.
3 is second, and then 4 is third.
4 is third for now. Okay.
What about 4 and 5?
What
about 4th and 5th place? Yeah.
That's it.
Then it'd be MGS1 would be 4th, and then I didn't really care for Acid and all that.
So it would leave Twin Snakes, or one of the originals.
Those are so much for the OGs are so much further down for me just because of the playability of them.
Mm-hmm.
They show their age so hard.
Oh yeah,
I think Spy would agree with you on that.
And I have a hard time playing
Spy
older games for that reason.
Yeah.
What about you, German?
Out of all the ones we played, geez, I'm like Noise. I'm like Chris. Top 5, for sure. I mean, number 1 for me, it's probably arguably Metal Gear Solid 3. Number 2 would probably be MGS1. This one would probably be Metal Gear Solid 4 would be number 3 for me. Then honestly, believe it or not, then I would argue that damn, I'd have to replay it again one more time. But out of everything we've played, top 5 would be 3, 1, 4. I'd have put 2 as number 4 because I did play a shit out of 4. I did like it. I really did like it back in the day. And then 5th place would probably, honestly, I'd probably have to say maybe Solid Snake. I did enjoy that game a lot, and I'd really like to give it another shot, or maybe even Ghost Babel, because Ghost Babel was pretty fun too.
Yeah, damn, Ghost Battle was so good. I didn't think it was gonna be that fucking good, man. It really
Yeah.
blew me away. Like it just perfected the Metal Gear 2 formula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had an itching to play that one again a little while ago. I was like, fuck it, just want to play through this again. And it's
You know what I wanted to play again
it's
recently?
mission based too.
Yeah.
Huh.
I wanted to play some Acid.
I know. I'm surprised Acid
or
wasn't.
too.
Probably both, honestly. Probably more Acid too, but Acid.
I'm surprised those weren't in your top 5. I was like, the 5th was probably going to be Acid, but yeah, you said.
I like Acids, but not top 5. Not top 5 for sure.
Hmm.
Now Acid 3. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I was saying that since MGS2, I'm sad that there's not more things of like collecting dog tags and stuff. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
that one.
Yeah.
I really
yeah.
want that.
And that's why I kind of want to play Acid, because I'm trying to get all the damn cards, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what made me play 2 so much, was collecting those
Oh,
dog
yeah.
tags.
Getting
Like,
those dog
so
On
much.
every difficulty and
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh,
and
yeah.
and I
that was-
mean,
yeah,
as dated as those controls are, like they're still smooth. Like
they're still good.
yeah, like I
they take some getting back into to feel smooth. But
yeah. My
You
brain
know-
just kicks in because I played it so much. But yeah, I
you
understand.
did.
Oh, yeah.
You grind the shit out of that. But that is interesting that you mentioned, Bacon, that 3 does the Kiritans, but they're all in the same location and the same amount, no matter what difficulty you play on. They
Right.
could have added more and different locations based on your difficulty. That would have been kind of cool.
And then with the Kiritans, it's all or nothing for
Yep.
the reward.
Yeah.
Yep. All or yeah. You miss one during the fucking motorcycle chase, and you're
That's what I
done.
don't like. That's what I don't
Yeah,
like.
that's the worst part.
Because you can't confirm it until you beat the game and it goes, you got a special item. You got the fucking
no,
self
like I
camo.
said, no. And remember, you can wear the Keratin armor. Oh no, you can if you shot it, you can always put the mic and you can hear it. Whack, whack, and you're, okay, I got it. And then you're good to
Right,
go.
but keeping track in your brain that you hit
Oh, yeah.
all 64.
Oh yeah. That's the difference.
Without
Yeah.
dying.
Without
It's like,
dying,
wait,
yeah.
wait, did I get that? And then you're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of times where I hit it during a certain section and then died or didn't save for whatever reason because I was trying to do no deaths and then didn't hit it again.
So is that confirmed? If you die and don't hit it again, it doesn't count?
If you reload the file without, that's what I did.
No, but I mean,
I
if you
reloaded
die, so like you hit it, you die and continue.
Yeah. I don't know. Good question. I think I always reshot them just in case.
Yeah, me too. I always reshot them because we don't know. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, but that would have been cool if Metal Gear Solid 4 or something like that. Like I said, we do have those collectibles, the BB statues and the frog statue, and I think that's it. But they should have had more collectibles for sure.
Yeah, the replayability.
I guess the
going down.
collectibles are supposedly going to be your fucking iPod music and the camos, I guess, or the face
all
camos,
the guns.
The guns, yeah. Which
guess.
again, like if you're trying to do, a non-lethal run or shit, you're not going to be using any of those guns.
Yeah, as I did not.
Yeah, but
For most of the thing until I got
but
tired. And I was like,
noise.
everyone's dying.
I give you mad props, Noise, for doing all the freaking dog tags, Bacon. I'm not sure if you've done it because I haven't done it for all difficulties. I've started it multiple times, and I'm at some point I just start giving up. I'm like, fuck it, you're dying. I don't give a fuck.
Well, now I got to do it again because now I have now I'm playing. Well, now I have the Master Collection version because I was playing the old PC version so I could mod it to do the
Yeah.
third person camera. So now I want those fucking achievements. So I need that 100% on MGS2.
Yeah. I still think it's funny we were arguing about the controllers.
And I have to do the 300 fucking VR missions again
Oh.
on MGS1. God damn. I mean, I like that game, but it's still hard.
I still have not bet the bullet on buying that one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, on Master Collection?
Yeah.
It is a lot better than it was originally.
Yeah, the updates.
They
Which
fixed a lot
again,
of shit.
Again, I think it was hella funny how we were arguing about that noise. They're like, no, dude, it's fucking R3. No, it's not.
Oh yeah, because
Like,
I had the unofficial version of Master
You had
Collection.
the version that couldn't be updated for no reasons at all.
It was a glitch.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, a glitch.
Are you a hacker?
Chris, did you see your top 5 as of right now?
Yeah, I think I mentioned them in the last one, but my top 5 at this point.
Don't tell me your top. Don't tell me your number 1. But your 2 through 5. What are your 2 through 5?
Okay. Second one would be probably Metal Gear Solid 1. 3 would be oh my gosh, I just had it. Portable Ops.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And then 4 would be MGS4. 5 would be MGS2, I think.
Oh, you like this more than 2?
Yeah.
Oh, because of Rose.
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
Yeah, that's why.
I was like, what? Why?
What? What apes?
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
We should have said that to your ringtone, Chris.
Sure. Go for it. I'll destroy my phone or just have it on silence all the time.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that's my top 5.
Okay.
With Twin Snakes being number 1.
So
Okay.
no 3.
I didn't want to know your number 1.
It's Twin Snakes.
Fuck off.
Chris, you know what? I'm honestly with you. That's my preferred way of playing the first one.
Why are you guys trying to hurt me? I know I said some shit about MGS4, but come on. You're making it personal now.
Your same reason for liking a future game is the reason why I like Twin Snakes over the OG. It just plays better.
What?
The controls feel better.
In this one that we just played?
No, I'm saying Twin Snakes plays better than the OG PS1 version.
But you're comparing it to future game?
As the reason why you love that one so much is how it plays.
I see what you're saying, but I don't compare the future game to 4 because it's I feel like it's got the same control scheme when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
But that's not why I like those over this one. I don't compare them to this one. I thank this one for those ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those ones would not exist without this one. This one deserves all the credit for those ones. Twin Snakes just sucks. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that was. Oh, I didn't say my top 5. I'll say them real quick. Number 1 is Solid 1. Number 2, Snake Eater. 3, Solid 2. 4 would be Solid Snake, and 5 would be Ghost Babel.
Ah, nice.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Now that you guys kind of reminded me of the fucking OG ones, like those ones definitely they made a huge impression on me.
Mm-hmm. No, I enjoyed the hell out of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to play through Ghost Babel again, now that you mentioned it, and Solid Snake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Nice. Well, this was a long-winded way of saying we played a game.
Mm-hmm. A long game.
For 9 weeks.
A long game.
9 weeks we played Metal Gear Solid 4, dude. It's 2 months.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was one of your hosts, Noise One, codename Red Noise.
I am Riser, codename Chrono Riser, I guess.
And I am Damn It Chris, codename Blue Rhino Boss.
And I was Huntsman Bacon, aka Lalilulilo.
Or Samuel Bacon.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Oh, yeah. Let us know what you think about Rose.
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye, Rose.